2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
It is perfect, folks. The Panthers get their first win in a hot minute. That's right. The Panthers end I think a 10-game losing streak today as they defeat what has really been domination against the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this makes us now 6-1 against them, and historically today the Panthers pull out a win 21-16, and we're going to be talking about that today on the C3 Panthers post-game show. The number's 252-228-5098. My name's Tony Dunn, and I'm here with my homeboy Cody Lashney. My man, are you excited? We got the win, baby. We got the win.
Yay, we did a thing. I mean, listen, man, a win is a win. It's hard to win in the NFL. It didn't come pretty. There was a lot to like. There was a lot to dislike. I'm going to try and be as fair as I can and cover both of them. But, hey, man, a win is a win. We should feel good about it. Tony Dunn, we have the most lit Panther fans in all of YouTube, and they're joining us again tonight. Underground West, what's up, baby? Joe Riolano, co-founder of the C3 Podcast. Mr. Froth, Tommy Doc Martin, Sarah Taylor, Humble Flip, No Fool, Panthers guy, FSU 23, Tony Dunn, and nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
CK in the house, please tell me that the continuation of ridiculous football is going to end with the Cowboys not pulling this out, CK.
I unfortunately
cannot say that.
I would have if they didn't just come back from a ridiculous deficit against the Falcons last week, I would be 100%. Right now, they're in their emotions of we're the magical team. You know, we have everything going against us. People don't think we're going to be making it. Nobody believed we were going to beat the Falcons. Nobody believed we were going to beat the Seahawks, but we're going to make it happen. I think it's very possible. I really do, especially where they're at on the field.
Unbelievable. Remember, it's unbelievable.
That defense has been eating Russell Wilson alive in the backfield, by the way. He's been like, I've been watching just Red Zone, and I've seen at least 6, like maybe 4 or 5 sacks just in this half alone.
Dak Prescott with 417 yards right now. All right, the number's 252-228-5098. I want to also remind you guys that if you want to get a little cheddar on the games, you go to mybookie.ag. You can check out the Professor's Picks on Wednesday, where I meet with head odds maker Rafael Esparza to try to beat Vegas. Today was not a good day for the Professor, and it's because the Falcons gonna Falcon, like Flub the Duck says. I took the Falcons -3. It was my most confident pick of the day. And why? I made a fucking mistake, a dumb-ass mistake for believing that the Falcons were worth anything in this world other than to be a big pile of steamy shit. But you can do better than me. You can bet, and you can be smarter than me by going to mybookie.ag. Use the promo code OVERTIME. They'll match your deposit up to $1,000. And you can bet and have fun safely, securely. You bet, you win, you get paid. So don't forget, mybookie.ag, promo code OVERTIME. Now let's go ahead and get into the post-game show. The Panthers eke out a win. I hate to say it, is that what should have been largely, this should have been a Panthers blowout given the mistakes that the Chargers made early in this game and the turnovers. But sadly, the Panthers, with the best field position, they started like on the Chargers 40 every drive, it felt like. Joey Sly was just the man of many kicks today. He was good and good and good. I hope you had him on your fantasy football team. Teddy Bridgewater finished the day 22 for 28, 235 yards and a touchdown. Mike Davis filled in nicely for the missing Christian McCaffrey. But today, guys, I got to say this, is that we're going to debate. We're going to argue whether this win was good for the Panthers, whether they deserve to win. But I am happy with a couple of things. We continue to see Joe Brady call what I think is been a very good offense in all situations, putting his players in places to succeed, not panicking, playing aggressive while not playing haphazardly or calling a game haphazardly. And then the real story today was the Panthers defense finally showing some spunk and some life. And I wanted to continue to tell Panther fans to stop panicking when it comes to Matt Rule. And stop specifically panicking when it comes to Phil Snow. The idea that he doesn't understand defense and doesn't know how to coach, to be able to say that after 2 games is annoying. The players, we're getting a lot out of these young players. Jeremy Chin checking people out there and wrecking them. Brian Burns causing havoc and some problems, and Derek Brown playing pretty darn well today. So, guys, with that being said, overall takeaways from this game.
Man, so our defense showed up. Our defense showed up in some big ways, specifically, guys, in our defensive backfield, man. Trey Boston, how about saving us the game on that final drive, going up and deflecting that pass away from Keenan Allen? I mean, that's a big-time play. He had another he picked up on a screen, and he undercut the route, and he almost took a pass to the house when the Chargers were driving. Trey Boston had a great game today. I think Jeremy Chin continues to prove his worth at that position. Dude, Jeremy flies around the football field. We really are using Jeremy Chin, if you watch him on defense, the way Clemson used Isaiah Simmons, and how I wanted us to use Isaiah Simmons if we drafted him. And he's been able to fill that void, man. We literally put him everywhere. We'll put him at nickel. We'll put him at free safety sometimes. He'll drop and cover a tight end. I mean, Jeremy Chin quite literally does it all. I mean, as of right now, that's my favorite draft pick of anyone that we drafted in this past draft season. I think that our offensive line, how about this? We were missing the entire left side of our offensive line today. We didn't have our starting left tackle and left guard. And yet we were able to do well, I thought, protecting Teddy Bridgewater for the most part. And then early on, we were running the football effectively. Now, I'm going to get into something a little bit later as we get into the podcast a little bit more, specifically about the running back position. But, dude, our offensive line, they were run blocking well. We were pulling guards and getting them on the edges and having them block on the second level. We were doing a lot of really good things on both sides of the football. With that said, this third down offense is
it was horrible. It was horrible. Like we had, what were you, like 3 for 11 or something like that? It was bad.
Crazy.
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
We were so bad on third down, and again, it's this dilemma where
we were 3 for 12. 3 for 12.
At the end of the football game, again, Teddy Bridgewater, he'll hit a really nice deep pass down the field, this time to DJ Moore. And I'm like, okay, where is that all game? Like, why are we only doing that in the second half of the football game? I don't know. I don't understand. Chargers. Yeah, go ahead.
As I praised our defense, we were not good on third down specifically. They were 10 for 15. They were 67% on third down. And a lot of those third down, that was with the Chargers starting in terrible field, down in distance a lot of times. There were a lot of times first and 15 or, you know what I'm saying? And Herbert, this guy, you were right about him being a baller, and B, having a fucking cannon, homie. That dude, I thought that first deep pass he threw, he was trying to score a touchdown in Charlotte. Now, a couple of other things. Let's just speak quickly on that offensive line. What happened to all the players? Okung was he ruled out before the game? Then Greg Little starts, and he's gone. What's happening to the offensive line? Is it injuries? Was Greg Little sidelined for injury, or was it because of play?
I believe it was because of play. I
may
be wrong. I may be wrong about this, but I believe it was. Was it? No, it wasn't him. He was already out. I believe it was.
He was out early. He was out early, and we just didn't hear why. I didn't hear why. I didn't see him go down or have any problems. And then who was the left guard that was out as well?
Schofield. Joe Schofield was also out.
Okay.
But Dennis Daly was out too, though.
Yeah.
I need to bring up the tweet. I have it saved.
Okay.
We were missing. We were missing two starters on our offensive line today.
Now it comes down. What was interesting about this is while we were in very good position to pull out this game, like someone said in the chat room, is that Joe Brady called a great game until the last third down possession, where he called a pass. It was 3rd and 2. The thing is that you can't take a sack there. Period. Now I don't know if you could have not taken that sack because they were all over Teddy right away, but you go from about to put the game away, kicking a field goal, to giving them a last minute shot. And the only thing that probably saved this from backfiring and this turning out to be a loss in many, arguably, was the great special teams play by J.J. Jansen. That I think, and correct me if I got his name wrong, but Jansen, the long snapper, what looked like to be a ridiculous, oh my gosh, this was going to be a disaster. They looked at it in slow motion. It worked out for us. And then you put Justin Herbert and them on the 1 yard line, like on the inches yard line, having to go with like a minute left, no timeouts. Very tough position, but even that resulted in Keenan Allen having a shot in the end zone, and what was going to be a disaster if that lateral worked out.
But it was a walk-in.
He was about to walk in.
The problem I have with this game, when you ask what my thoughts are on it, is everything went our way.
Yeah.
Everything went our way, right? We did not win this game. We did not. We had some good play. Our defensive line was able to get some pressure. But outside of that, we had some calls go our way. We had some balls go our way. And then there at the end, they just made a lot of mistakes. If they had executed on everything that they were capable of doing, they would have just decimated us. And you've got to think about this. I mean, I see a lot of positives in this defense. I think over the summer, number one, outside of a quarterback, if we end up drafting high, has to be linebackers. We cannot roll with these linebackers, bro. They are not good. We are not predicting these plays very well. And you talk about the third down. A lot of people say, Joe Brady called a good game up until that last third down. I think all the third downs we had were bad calls for a lot of them. I say all of them, but there was a lot of bad calls on third down. And I'm not saying that it's all Joe Brady, but I think you realize how one-dimensional our offense is right now. Like, it's one-dimensional. Tell me one person that you're afraid of on our offense right now without Christian McCaffrey on the mix. Somebody's going to say Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson still wasn't beating us deep. He wasn't getting deep ball. He was literally slants. Those are easy throws. Those are easy catches. The only person that had a deep ball was DJ Moore. And to be quite honest, that defensive back probably could have intercepted it if he actually knew the ball was coming right there.
You know, I was thinking about this today as I was screaming at first you said it, Cody, before we got started. It's my fault that I picked the Falcons. I understand that. But as I was screaming at the stupid ass Falcons, their defense is fucking horrible. I was looking at this and going, man, we picked DJ Moore over Calvin Ridley, and I want DJ Moore to be great. I do, but Calvin Ridley's out there slaying it.
Doesn't he have the most receiving yards in the NFL right now? Or that's how it was at the start of the day. I don't know.
Keep in mind, DJ Moore has not had a quarterback.
True.
When he did last year, he had a quarterback that was Kyle Allen, and he still was able to do some stuff. How many throws have they thrown? And they wanted to blame that one dropped pass, the first target he had today, on him. That was a high throw. I know that he's supposed to catch that. It was within his reach. It was out of his hands. Don't get me wrong. But that's just as much on DJ Moore as it is Teddy Bridgewater. I am not going to shit on Teddy Bridgewater. He did not lose the game today. He was
exactly what he was supposed to be. Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater, except for third downs. Actually, on third downs, he was fucking horrible. He's been almost more productive this season than expected. This is the type of stat line that they thought that he was going to bring in. No turnover. We didn't have the turnovers. And you're right. Everything did go well for us today. And I think there's two ways of looking at that. Is that you could, or a couple of ways. You could look at it as the Chargers potentially lost this game.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it is.
You could say that is that there's that moment right there. Brandon Herbert's in here saying, "Laugh out loud, you killing me. Bad play calling bad." Bro, I just at the very beginning of the show, I said, so here, tardy Brandon Herbert, that again, we've had the third a good game called by Joe Brady. So for the guy that calls up trying to fight people on the damn podcast, call in.
By the way, he's also not all the way right too, because our third down play calling was dog shit, man. It was absolute dog shit. And we are on third down, but we were 3 of 12.
3 of 12.
And I mean, listen, hell, if anything, people should be praising us because we're saying that's not on Teddy Bridgewater. That was not Teddy Bridgewater's fault that we were not able to convert all those third downs. The play calling on third downs was bad. I mean, that's just a fact. Now, did we do enough to win? Yeah, we did. And I thought that our offensive line played well. And we were able to move the football consistently. And Teddy Bridgewater continues to prove that he is who we thought he was. He's good for 1 or 2 nice downfield passes a game. I don't know why they don't call more of that. Either they don't trust our receivers, or they don't trust Bridgewater, or they just don't
trust the offensive line. Or
maybe they just want us to be a run-first football team, which I understand that. But again, your running game is going to get better the more you open up your offense.
But we were doing all right. The running game was working. You know what is that? Here's the thing: is that we were not able to get touchdowns. And what I think, all right, so this will go back to my point of is that you can look at this as there's one way to look at this. The Chargers lost the game, right? That they had some timely penalties. They had some timely turnovers that put them behind the 8 ball. There's another way you can look at this is the Panthers did exactly without their greatest player, did enough on the road to win against the team with, you saw improvement from the defense. You saw an offense that was pretty impotent today. It was not very effective. We just weren't able to get points. Joey Sly finally, he was the reason that we had points in this game. We were not scoring touchdowns. But there's one other thing, and I think this shows where it's kind of a little mix of both, is that with all of the things going right, I felt like we should have won by like 40. You know what I mean? Like you start on their 40 every time.
This should have been a blowout. It should have been the way that things were falling our direction. The fact that I don't want to take away from the fact that it's a win, because I can say we won and I'm happy with that. I'm not one of these people on Twitter just saying we need to lose, right?
Right. I mean, we got to be
person.
happy. We ended a 10-game losing streak.
But it should be disappointing when you look at what our defense did, giving us the ball back, and every time we got great field position, it was a field goal, and that's it. It was 5.
The Cowboys are up, by the way.
No, they're not. Did they just now score again?
It's 31-30. Am I behind?
I think you are. I just saw that.
Yeah, Russell Wilson threw an amazing throw to DJ Metcalf. Dude, if he continues playing at this level, he is MVP, no questions asked.
Why am I behind?
But hold on there, dude. I'm telling you, it's early, and Josh Allen is balling the fuck out, bro. Dude, let me say a few controversial things real quick. One, I'm proud of the Panthers. That's not controversial. I'm happy that we got the W. But a lot of people are like, oh, we played our way out of Trevor Lawrence. Dude, there are a few football teams still that we know are going to be picking near the bottom, and I still believe the Panthers are one of them. If you want to get mad at me for that opinion, go ahead and do it. Another thing is, dude, so the MVP race, this discussion is going to fluctuate up and down, but Russell Wilson is a legitimate contender. Absolutely,
he is it. He is it. Man,
dude,
there's another one.
I'm telling you, I was getting into fights on Twitter with people. I'm not making a 1-for-1 comparison, okay? But Josh Allen is starting to look like a bad mofo.
Nah, he still looked like Josh Allen today. He still looked like Josh. Right when it was all over the stuff, he was throwing the ball backwards. He was pulling on the face mask.
Dude, he's making plays down the field that they look like Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm saying he has a cannon for an arm, and he's throwing the football right. I mean, dude,
they won that game not because of Josh Allen. They won that game because of the referees today. They called a bullshit pass interference that gave them the ball.
Okay, but
that was bullshit.
Okay, so are we going to say no, dude? I don't believe what. Listen. Maybe on some big-time plays, but the Rams were in that football game. That was a competitive football game that came back. Dude, y'all are going to have to put some respect on Josh Allen.
All right, I'm not disrespecting them, but they should have lost today. They should have lost today. They gave up a giant, and that's not necessarily on him. I'm not saying that's on.
The Panthers should have lost today.
Yeah, and the
Falcons should have won. Those fuckheads.
Same thing.
Okay, let's get back on our game. Let's get back to our game. Let's get back to our game.
But here's what I'll say about that first and foremost. You put Russell Wilson's highlights up against Josh Allen. Russell Wilson wins every single day. He has the most beautiful passes over. I know that those deep balls that Josh Allen throws are nice, but Russell Wilson is cerebral more so than Josh Allen has ever been. And until Josh Allen can do it for 7 consecutive games, Russell Wilson has been doing it every single year.
No doubt. I have no problem with Russell Wilson.
But Josh Allen is playing much better so far this year.
Absolutely.
You know, and to be honest, they needed that because the Bills, for them to win, he's gonna have to elevate that team, and they're a little too old of a defense to just try to play kind of like an old Panthers team, right? So anyway, but back to the Panthers. The Panthers are able to pull out their first win, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal because we're on a 2-game road trip, right? We got to go play Tampa. This team is not as bad as people have made them out to be. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into wins, but is that all the shitting that has happened to this coaching staff by Panthers Twitter, I think has been too much. And today, I think that you showed that we really have kind of a limited talent base when it comes to offensively, right? I mean, look, is that you're trying to do that against the Chargers, and you don't have a lot of studs on the offensive line. Now, let's go to this. One other thing, too. We were playing a very hobbled Chargers team today. is that not only have injuries decimated their offensive line, Mike Williams going down was a blessing for us today, homie, because they were shredding our secondary. And if it wouldn't have been for that Dante Jackson interception, which I'm going to go ahead and put up, and he must have listened to the C3 Panthers the podcast last week as we were talking junk about him running out of bounds early, because he sticks with it here and almost scores the damn touchdown, right? He didn't run out of bounds. He actually took some contact. Dante Jackson, though, goes down in this game again. And CK, you said something a little bit earlier in the show that I disagree. Well, I won't say I disagree with. We're going to have to bolster this linebacking group. No kidding, right? Is Shaq Thompson is not sorry. Is that he's just not the answer. I'm not saying he's cut him or anything or something like that, but he's for a number one draft pick. We're not number one, but a first-round draft pick. It's got to be disappointing with his play. When Jeremy Chin's the best defensive player out there, it feels like, or the most electric. But that secondary needs help, homie. Needs help. And you cannot build a secondary around Troy Pride and Dante Jackson. It's just not going to work.
Well, I mean, dude, Dante played well. More of my concerns now.
Keenan Allen had like 150 yards a day, dude.
But I don't think that was all on him.
No, but you don't have anybody that can stop him.
Yeah, we definitely don't have that bigger body shut down corner. But what I'll say is this. I mean, if you look at the team that we played today, yeah, they had some injuries. But overall, one of the things that we have to mention, because I honestly believe, and I haven't even said his name yet, one player is the reason why we won today's game. And it's something that we've been saying and that we've been waiting for and that we're finally starting to see happen. Brian Burns had a day, y'all. Brian Burns was out there cutting the rug, getting into the backfield, getting pressures. Brian Burns was out there shooting webs like the web slinger, bro. Like he was a man amongst boys. He's so fast around the edge.
I know.
Man.
I'm worried he's a one-note player, though. He's got to show me more. Like, he was beating him with the speed rush, but we knew that. We know that's what he can do.
Well, but it needs to be dependent on our other players to help be able to, one, stop the run, and number two, listen, it's okay if you're not the greatest at every single trait that a defensive end has to be able to do, because when you're on pass rushing downs, you know you're going to be able to go to him for a big play. I mean, Brian Burns balled out today. He did absolutely incredible. I think a lot of people have been waiting for him to really have the kind of game that we've been expecting for a long time. And today was it. Even on plays where he didn't get the sack, he affected the play. 100%.
Let's just go ahead and put it. This is Brian Burns is going to help you against the team. And really, you know what? The Chargers is that, and I think CK said this earlier, is that the Chargers lost this game. And I'm going to give you a couple of stats that really kind of support that, right? Is that first, the turnovers, them playing from behind early was problematic. They only rushed the ball today 23 times. They threw the ball 49 times. So Brian Burns is going to help you against a team that throws the ball 49 times, right? But the Chargers did not play the game that they wanted to play today. At all.
No.
And I don't know why that was. It had to have been because we got good field position every time.
We had good field
and we got
position.
ahead. We got ahead. But so, I mean, I don't want to overly dash but the Panthers today, if you think about it, our offense was this. We put up 81 rushing yards and we put up 235 passing yards, which is not sensational. We didn't have to go very far That's us. We just didn't have to go very far at all, and that was good. So the Panthers, I think the special teams have been impressive to me, other than if you take away the very beginning where Troy Pride runs into the guy calling a fair catch right off the bat. Other than that, we've been punting the ball great. Joey Sly is starting to get in rhythm. So I think a lot of things are going well for this Panthers team, but this was we weren't playing the Chargers at full strength. And you know what? That's good. That doesn't take away. It's still a W. So I'm excited about that. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go ahead and get into a couple of calls, and then we'll get back deeper into this game.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in the snow? Who's that kid that can use one?
What's up, C3 Podcast? Run DMC Lovato. I'm watching the game right now, and I just knocked an excellent run in for that 12-yard touchdown. It looks like Shaq Thompson and Trey Boston don't want any smoke so far in the run game. Like, it looks like they literally dove on the ground because they didn't want to tackle. It looks pathetic. I kind of regret paying Shaq Thompson. I would much rather have kept our corner that the Giants got.
James Bradbury. Somebody else made that comment in the chat room.
He's getting paid top money for that outside linebacker position, and he is just pedestrian out there. He didn't learn shit from Luke or TD, but yeah, I just wanted to say that it didn't look like Shaq or Trey want to tackle at all. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got to say this is that I've been saying it pretty much for years. I feel like at this point is that me wanting Shaq to be good and him being good are two different things. And you don't root for our players to be bad. You don't root for them to be busts. Some of them clearly are or were, right? Is that I can call Matt Khalil the worst fucking left tackle in the history of the Panthers, and I feel comfortable with that. I didn't ever know how to fully judge Shaq Thompson, and we've had some discussions that have ranged from why is he playing the position he's playing rather than middle linebacker. There was a couple of times, though, where he filled in for Luke at middle linebacker when he was hurt with concussions, and I thought we saw signs of him playing pretty well. It was hard for us to gauge the success of the pick when it came down to, because we kept saying Luke and TD are in front of him, and it's hard to break through, kind of like Stephen Weatherly. A lot of people have said Stephen Weatherly was sitting behind great players, but guess what? He's been non-existent for this Panthers defense too. But what we have done is what we just had 3 years of first-round picks, maybe 4, be disappointments. Kelvin Benjamin, Shaq Thompson, Vernon Butler. Maybe it was 3. Am I missing one? Right there is that, and you can't, even in the later picks of the first round, you can't miss on that first round pick. And right now, I guess the question is, even DJ, is he what we need a first round pick to be? I don't know, but the problems are partly with our general management and partly with our general management before. How atrocious are the fucking Giants, guys? They're fucking terrible. And so going back to what Cody said about we're not out of the running. Yeah, we are in a way. We're better than the Giants. The Falcons right now have a better damn chance of getting Trevor Lawrence than we do. The Redskins, the Jets. It is fucking. We're like the 22nd best team in the league right now, dude.
There's a lot of football left to play. Let me start by addressing the cat call. Let me address the cat call. One, Shaq Thompson. I think again, I said the same thing with Teddy Bridgewater. He is who we thought he was. Like he's going to be good for maybe 1 or 2 key stops a game, but you're never going to get the kind of production that Luke and TD gave to this football team. You're just not going to get it. Shaq Thompson, again, in my mind, is kind of a middle of the pack linebacker, and that is who we thought he was. So would I have paid him that kind of money? No. But hindsight is also a real 2020 thing, man. Because I know so many Panther fans that would have been absolutely pissed if we had signed James Bradbury to the kind of
I
money
might have been one of them too.
Yeah, so okay, so there's a lot of this that you just don't know. I do agree with you on a part of our management. I still think Marty Hernan needs to be fired. I'm not coming off that hill.
No, I think you're right.
And then I want to have a conversation that a lot of y'all don't want to have, and a lot of y'all are going to get pissed off at me about, but I don't give a shit, dude. I'm not going to come in here and be dishonest, right? Follow me with this one. Didn't Mike Davis show us today why you don't really pay running backs?
No.
Like, think of how many games we've
Thank
lost.
you, CK. No, he didn't.
Dude, think of how many games we lost. What I'm saying is, we've lost a bunch of games now in a row with Christian McCaffrey as our running back. And now Mike Davis is a 1-0, bro. I'm just saying, listen, this is nothing against Christian. Christian, the player, is incredible. But the whole argument is that the position, no matter what player you're talking about, it's easily replaceable. I mean, especially if you look at what the 49ers were able to do last year with their running backs. Like, Mike Davis had a great day, and he's an undrafted player. Like, that's the reason why you don't pay big money to running backs. Sorry.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I saw somebody who was basically who was able to carry the rock, definitely, but we did not win because of him. Like, yes, he had a great screenplay.
Well, we won because of him more than Teddy. Somebody was saying Teddy put up these points. I was like, nah, actually, Mike Davis did.
Dude, how about this?
But go ahead, CK, because I think you're right. I agree with you, CK. Is Mike Davis didn't prove that to me either.
I don't think he proved that you like a Christian McCaffrey is not valued to be paid at the amount that he's being paid. I think it's quite opposite. I think that we saw today what a middle of the pack running back looks like. And we saw that Mike Davis couldn't make people miss. He made that one great screenplay, and he was running through some tackles, but he wasn't doing what Christian McCaffrey does, which is makes the linebackers just always need to know where Christian McCaffrey is. Like, you weren't dealing. There was not this extra layer, and we can always look at this as Monday morning quarterback and everything, but I think when I look at what happened today, I would have said if Christian McCaffrey was in the backfield, this would have been that blowout that we were expecting it to be. I think all of those red zones.
Yeah, maybe. I do think that, I mean, look, Cody's got the truth lies somewhere in the middle on this.
Yeah.
Right? Is that I think the idea that on, like, when you look at the position value of a running back, I understand what the analytics people are saying and what Cody is arguing here.
Yeah. I
do think that Christian McCaffrey, for me, is slightly a different type of talent than just a regular running back. What I mean is that I almost think is that would it make you feel better if we classified him as a RB wide receiver, right? Because then all of a sudden he's something that is more than just a running back. But Mike Davis to me reminded me of Mike Tolbert in his prime today. The dancing bear. He looked like a dancing bear out there.
It reminded me more of Jonathan Stewart. Like, and when we had the D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, like, I think they need to play him more. I think that he has the ability to make good plays, and he did that in a couple of good plays out there. But again, if you look at the averages, if you look at the game, like the plays that Christian McCaffrey maybe was going to be able to break off, or even Curtis Samuel for that matter. By the way, all those sweeps, when have they worked? They have been doing those sweeps, like trying to get them to a running back to the outside. Our outside blocking is horrendous. We don't have big body receivers to block. I don't know why they continue to try this. Every time it's been dropped in the backfield. Are you guys?
Yeah, and just to get back a little bit before we move on to some of the play call and some different things, I think, Cody, is that, again, the truth kind of lies in the middle. And I think you're right in a lot of ways, is that, are you talking about building a team around a running back? Are you talking about that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Is that financially, like, we have to look at like how much of the cap it takes up and some different things. And then the other is that, can you kind of retool the linebacker? I mean, not the linebacker, the running back group with a bunch of youngins through the draft if you every 3 or 4 years pick a running back kind of high. But one of the problems is that the Panthers did invest a lot of draft capital in Christian McCaffrey. So do you let that guy walk out? It's a tough question. So now that we've said those things, how do you now feel about your statement? Do you want to not temper it, but add anything else to it?
No. Listen.
You can't even. We didn't make one. I didn't make one point that was worth listening to.
Listen. You did. Look, I love Christian McCaffrey, the player. I think he's the best running back in the NFL. So do I think that he's better than Mike Davis and that ultimately he does more than Mike Davis? Of course he does. But is that going to be the difference in winning football games? Like, if we have a good offensive line that's able to run block their ass off, my point being is it doesn't matter if it's McCaffrey or Saquon or Devontae Freeman or an undrafted guy like Mike Davis that you've never heard of before.
But then you should never pick certain positions at certain places, period. You should never pick a linebacker in the first round then. You should never, you know what I mean? Like, then, like, all of these types of things, because they're not conditionally appropriate for that, because they're not the same value as a corner, a defensive end, or in this case, wide receiver, or left tackle and quarterback, right? Isn't that ultimately the argument?
No, because if you had a badass linebacker, there have been listen, imagine if we had drafted, like, so for example, and again, forget how Isaiah Simmons is playing, but like, I'm not even using him as an example. There are linebackers.
No, you gotta say Devin White. You gotta say Devin White. That's the one you gotta say. You gotta say Luke Kuechly.
There's a bunch of really good linebackers that are going to help you do a bunch of different things. Whereas it matters who that player is, especially in the middle of your defense. What I'm saying is if it's a first round running back or if it's an undrafted running back, yeah, maybe a good back will elevate a bad football team, which, frankly, Christian McCaffrey has done that and then some. But if you have a good run-blocking offensive line, that kind of player isn't necessary.
But we don't. We don't. See, it's that simple. Is that we don't. And the idea that our offensive line, this is the other thing. It's like we got beer goggles on right now when it comes to our offensive line. Is that all of a sudden this offensive line is like, just because they're better than the ones we've had in the last couple of years does not mean they're good.
No.
Right?
Agreed.
I mean, they are not good. They're not good. But they're not the liability that has been there over the last few years.
And to play devil's advocate, and I think this is where you're going with it. I mean, we had so many backups in today, and how many sacks do we have? One? Just that one that Joey Bosa just bull rushed and was able to get it and pushed us out of field goal range. Outside of that, I do think that our offensive line handled itself fairly well against a pretty talented pass rush today.
Which was up with the calls today by the refs across the board. There's all these different. In all these games I'm looking at, I'm sorry, the Bills got lucky at the end. It was a game-changing call. Now, some other people said I didn't watch the whole game and that there are other calls too. So, okay, I'll grant that. But when you give on a fourth down play the most bullshit of PI passes interference that changes the dynamic of game, that was real. And today, the one that I was thinking of is that where was that false start on Moten at? That motherfucker is still sitting still. He hasn't even left the field yet, and they called a false start on him. That didn't make sense, dude.
Yeah, they're thinking. I think the refs thought, Oh, they had him a little bit on the first one. There's no way they bid on the second one unless it was a false start. I think it was less about what they saw and more about what they thought. Like, I think they didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I think they just thought,
I agree.
Oh, they got a false start because he did the hard count the first time. The second time, it had to have been a false start. They wouldn't have jumped across the line after jumping over again the first time already.
Didn't make any sense to me. Didn't make any sense to me. And then the other one is I was pissed at the refs for we tried to get that play off where we were worried that Curtis Samuel potentially fumbled the ball. The Panthers did a great thing, and they tried to go up there, snap the ball before it could be challenged. And then the refs go, well, we weren't in our position, so
why did you set the ball?
Yeah.
Like, why did you set the ball? If you weren't in your position, why would the ball be set? I don't think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Luckily, he was down. By the way, that play is exactly why Curtis Samuel needs to get the ball out in space more. Like, you give him the ball in space, he breaks tackles, he makes things happen. They're not doing that. Every time he's gotten the ball today, he has either been in front, like either behind the line, behind horrible blockers, or on a crosser route where he has linebackers about to just slam him down on the ground.
All right,
but anyway.
Let's go to the next call, 252-228-5098.
What's up, C3? Dane from Brooklyn here. How you doing?
What's
I had to
up,
take
man?
a dump at halftime because this team gives me bubble guts when they play defense, so I had to have a release.
Call of the night.
Is Joey Sly. This guy's been kicking field goals all day long, but did you see those two freaking tackles? This guy's a monster. He needs to play every down on both sides of the ball.
We should have him as a linebacker.
We win going forward. Just tell me what you think, guys.
No, as a tight end, bro. Put him in there as a tight end.
Joey Sly did straight up meet that guy head on, right up the middle, and put him down, put him night, put him to sleep. It was great.
Yeah.
Panthers defense is a mixed bag, right? Is playing under-talented. I think they're an under-talented defense right now, right? Is that we've already called out questions at linebacker. We know the secondary is I actually think the secondary's been playing very well given the talent level they have, right?
Yeah.
Is that I mean Dante's a nice piece to have on your team, but Keenan Allen is just gonna the big boys that can run just as fast. You can't do nothing to them. So I think this is that Trey Boston has played pretty dang well. I've been happy with a lot of the play, but if you have it's kind of like a smaller college school, right? Is that it's one thing for you guys, you're just under-talented when you go against the bigger boys. They might have great games and play above their talent level, which I think we have, and we're very young. And I'm tired of the young guys. I'm sad that they are getting these penalties in such big places. Derek Brown last week. This week it was Yoter Gross-Matos with the hands to the face.
Yeah.
And, I think these guys are just trying. I won't say trying too hard because that's kind of a false notion, right? Is that, like, you can't try too hard, but you're trying to make something happen so much that it just so I don't feel bad about that, right? It's like I don't have any problems with Derek Brown at this point. I don't have any problems with Gross-Matos. Is that it's unfortunate, yes, but I'm glad these guys are getting some experience. But the defense finally got to the quarterback a little bit today. I don't know if they were playing the most exceptional offensive line. Particularly, I'll tell you how bad the Chargers offensive line was today, is that the center didn't snap the ball. At the end, what was that? The delay of game was on the center.
No, they gave it a false start on that one. That was that.
Right.
They didn't even do a delay of game.
All right, next call. The number's 252-228.
Hey, wait, real quick. Let me stop you before you do the next one. There's 40 people watching and 21 likes. Hit the like button.
Come on, guys.
By more people. Come on, we're talking shit. We're having fun. We're talking Panthers football. Hit the like button. I'm putting shame on you if you don't do it. Hit the dislike for all we care. Just interact with the show.
And, continue to get in the comments. Call in 252-228-5098. And since you're getting shamed, not only hit the like button, but why don't you just hit that little share icon? I don't ask you guys for money. I don't ask you guys for anything. But, well, actually, I do ask you for one thing. Your time, which is precious. And it's wonderful you guys give it to us. But I am asking you for one more thing. And that is likes and shares. You can do that. It's not a big deal. All right, let's go to the next call.
Hi, guys. Rich in the UK.
Rich, you can email this to me to save a little money, too, by the way.
So we're on post-game. We're not completely done yet, and I'm watching highlights because I've only got Red Zone here in the UK. Something that you mentioned the other day, but I'll bring it up, competence. Okay? I don't like where we're at the moment. I'm pissed off with management, general managers. I don't like Matt Rule. What I want to see is competence. I want to see a talent disparity is fine. You know, if you're crap and you lose, you know, you haven't got good players. If you're playing Will Greer and your QB plays no good, then that's fine. I think Teddy's been a bit better today. Obviously, we haven't won yet, but we're probably going to win today. But there's levels that Teddy, you know, with 3 games in, he's meant to be able to do certain things. And certainly through 2 games, didn't show that. Play calling, defensive play calling, you know, it doesn't look great at the moment. Everybody's allowed to learn and go from there. So, yeah, I'm not very on board with us at the moment. I'm very on board with the Panthers. North Carolina means too much to me to ever jump ship. Although I'm loving what Cam's doing. But that's it. That's you brought it up the other day. As I say, competence. Well, this is what you want to see. You want to see them doing the right things. If you get burnt, you know, if your defensive back gets burnt by a Tyreek Hill, or you get juked, or you get sacked because you're playing good players, then that happens. But being shit, and there's no excuse for that. You know, Matt Rule calling bad plays, Snow calling bad plays, and being shit. I'm not in on that, and I just the Tepper-Hurney Rule combination. I mean, listen, I'll just go very briefly. At the end of my call, okay, I told you the 2018 draft we'd fucked it up, okay, and we completely bollocked that draft up, okay, and I said a year ago we should offer Cam $100 million for 5 years, and we should have. Anyway, I'm leaving it there. Guys, love everything you do, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Thanks.
Take care and keep pounding.
Thanks, Rich, for the support across the pond. You can always email me a voice file, too. I know international calls are expensive. The email is carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com. I disagree with a lot of the call, though, and I don't think we've seen incompetence from the coaching staff. But I do see one area, and I think that it's not gonna get better until this gets fixed, until we get a new general management staff in. That to me right there is, and look, as I've tried to say that Hurney did pretty well in the aftermath of Dave Gettleman, particularly in free agency. He did a lot better than he was able to do in his first stint. I don't like, my first goal is to not shit on people entirely, and not saying that's what Rich is doing, but what I'm saying is, you know, with Marty Hurney trying to have a balance kind of look at it. But no, I can't at this point. Is right now there's been too many failures when it comes to the NFL draft, and it goes back to Dave Gettleman, and it continued with Marty Hurney. And so I do think we have a deficiency in talent, and that deficiency in talent comes largely for decisions that we have made. And where I do think that Rich is talking about, and I understand the perspective he is that he's getting to, has to do a little bit with the idea of bringing in the kind of Okung, trade away Turner for Okung, and then getting Bridgewater to where it seems like you're trying to do something, and then you're not trying to do something. Is that, and then you get Robbie Anderson, you're trying to do something. But until we get this general management structure figured out, I don't think we have enough to talk about Matt Rule and their staff yet, but we do have plenty of evidence when it comes to the structure of this team and the decision making of this team, and the idea there's just been too many misses. And hey, let's go back to Harrison Butker. Right? I mean, look at this. That dude is, but those we can go to that. We can go to drafting all of these. You guys say that the running backs don't matter. Well, how many of them did we draft that never made the team? How many tight ends did we try to get? Right? There are some real fucking problems on this roster. And then you had to draft seven. You had to draft 7 fucking defensive players. Right? I mean, you're in that kind of state. So I'll turn the mic over to you guys now.
I'll talk about it. I don't think that there's much that I'm willing to just place on the coaching staff. What I will say is I feel like there are certain parts that are fluctuating as far as our offense. Looks like it's better one week and bad the next.
Right.
I feel like every week our defense has gotten better.
I'm all right.
Week 1 to this week, it's gotten better, and so that's what I like to see. Number one. Secondly, is I agree. I think that our play calling was on point up until, especially with not having any gigantic explosive players on the team. Nobody who's going to be taking double coverage away from somebody else or something like that. To not have that, we still. We were running some good plays that were keeping the trains moving. It's just the problem was always third down in the red zone. We were not able to make it happen.
Yeah, no touchdowns. We did not come away with touchdowns, and we couldn't convert third down. One thing I did like about the play call in CK, though, is that at the end when we were trying to salt the game away, we didn't just run the ball 3 times in a row. We came out play actioned right away.
Yeah.
That was cool. You know what I'm saying? So there are some good things in a mixed bag. But to me, is that I think Cody has just been is that we are on that hill now, right? And that is until we get better vision. It's not even whether or not Hurney is good or bad. It's we don't have a future vision in the front office right now.
I don't see an identity to this team whatsoever.
Right. I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, and again, I feel like part of that goes the way of your quarterback. Now, listen, man, our defense, again, there is a lot of good to take away. And it goes back to we have a rookie defensive coordinator, a rookie offensive coordinator, a rookie head coach. It's going to take time for things to start to look good. And on defense, they have. I mean, granted, teams are still running the football on us. Austin Eckler is a beast, and he had a great day running the football against us, I feel.
But not really, though. They were. It looked like that in the beginning. I think actually Eckler's production were on screen passes.
Well,
that's where we got hit with. I feel
like they were able to get those consistent 4 to 5 yard runs that kept the chains moving. Listen, overall, the defense did great. There's a lot of reason to believe that we have a defense that can really be a contending defense, if not this year, at some point in the very near future. The problem is our offense. The reason why this team just doesn't excite a lot of people is because of Teddy Bridgewater. And again, it's like, I want to be wrong. I wish that he would have a game where he just finally throws for 3 or 4 touchdowns and is able to shut me up for good. But we still have problems on third down.
It's not going to happen.
We're still not pushing the ball down the field. So, again, this is why I'm saying, okay, it hurt that, one, penalties were bad against the Chargers. Justin Herbert completed it on that play to Mike Williams, and they said it was the offensive pass interference. That was a bullshit play. But my point is then they started to miss players. We're not going to be able to win shootouts against football teams. So we had a good luck of the draw today in that we were going up against a rookie quarterback in his second game of the NFL who still played pretty well, all things considered. And our offense was able to kind of chop away at their run defense and kind of keep the ball moving, and we made it a close game. A lot of the teams that we're going to play down the stretch, they're going to be able to capitalize, I feel, in ways that the Chargers almost did today. So, yeah, I don't want to look at this through rose-colored glasses. It was a good victory, but there are a lot of limitations to this football team this year.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that just comes with there are so many new things, and Teddy's a bridge. He's a bridge. It might be over water. It might be over troubled water. He is a bridge at this point, and nobody, I don't think, is, except for like maybe a couple of people, are like, Teddy is not an issue, right? But for the most part, I think we come down to this, is we've been outside the first half of with Tampa Bay last week, and that was because of Teddy, largely, is that we've been in these games. And I think that speaks volumes to the coaching staff, and that, we haven't been getting blown up for big, giant plays in the passing game, which I thought was going to happen. The run defense sucked last year. To think it was going to be great, it's been better. I'm happy. I think we got to keep our, kind of wait to have our judgments about the coaching staff right now. But to continue to say this is that until we get a vision, like CK said, an identity, and that identity starts with a vision from the general management about how to build a winning football team for the long haul, right? Is that good selections here and there are not going to be enough, right? And so we're going to have to couple it up, is that we're going to have to see us hit on a Jeremy Chin 2 or 3 years in a row, not miss on those types of guys. And we're really paying for bad decisions in the past right now. That's what we're paying for at this moment.
And that's where I think that we've got to really kind of put ourselves into, take ourselves out of the focus of this season. And then if you look at, or let's actually focus on this season by itself. Do you feel the fact that we lost Christian McCaffrey and the people that we have played against, that we have held our own for the most part up to this point, do you feel like our team has gotten better from the beginning of the game, week 1?
Better.
Well, I want to say, I want to say yes. In some ways, though, it's kind of weird. It's because the first week I thought the offense was like, wow, this offense actually is going to be all right. And then the defense is going to fucking suck. And then it's now the defense today was the good storyline and the offense wasn't really there. But no, I think I've been pleased enough.
Yeah.
I think with the Panthers' performances so far.
I think the reason I ask it that way is, yes, last week, if you look at Teddy Bridgewater's performance, he went downhill last week, right?
Yeah.
But he came back and he did exactly what he did week 1, which is not have any turnovers. He had a really high completion rating. Yes, he's not rolling with a tremendous amount of touchdowns. And when he does throw the ball downfield, it's pretty accurate.
I think he's only had 1 touchdown so far. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's only had one pass. Did he have one last week?
He had none last week, but I think he did have one week 1, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But nonetheless, he did have one today, and that was on the screen pass. That was all Mike Davis. I'll give him, Davis his credit on that. But all in all, if you look at our entire team as a whole, our offensive line is starting to mesh, at least to some degree, and we had backups in against, like we said, Joey Bosa, right? That is a very talented pass rush that the Chargers have, and we held our own. And then when you look at the fact that our defense was, honestly, the fact that I don't know whether to blame this win on us just doing the right things or horrible coaching on the Chargers side of things, because they did not test our secondary after that first half. They were literally just doing screen passes and crossing passes. They were not throwing the ball downfield when they should have.
I don't know. I feel like they were, and then they got that stupid Mike Williams. Well, I won't say stupid. I was very happy. We got away with a couple of things. All right, so that Dante Jackson interception.
I got to reply to CK, though, because one of the reasons.
All right, you reply. I'm going to get another beer.
one of the reasons they did that though, CK, is because Brian Burns was screaming around the edge. Brian Burns, literally, he had a breakout game today, man.
Yes.
When he came screaming around the edge on those plays, like he was getting consistent pressure, man. Then there was even a play where he was able to get pressure and hit Justin Herbert on the arm, but Justin Herbert was able to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, he almost had that third one. Yeah.
I mean, listen, they kind of scared the Chargers into not dropping back so much because we were able to get home. I do think that again, our defense, we have a weakness in the middle of the field.
Yes,
and it's a problem because we paid Shaq Thompson this money and we're trying to justify that. But this is another game that I felt like, where was Tahir Whitehead? Well, who knows?
I saw him miss some tackles. He does exactly what some of the other players last year were doing, which is go for that big hit and then not wrap up. Like he was literally just trying to shoulder tackle instead of arm tackle. There were a couple of plays he was there, but yeah, you're right. He is nowhere to be seen. Like you're not seeing his name. He's not in the backfield. He is not, adjusting the defense. There is literally no quarterback on the defense right now like we had with Luke Kuechly.
Yeah, none at all, man. And
that is the truth about that. And you know what? You don't even realize it till you say it.
Yeah. How many times did you see somebody talking to the secondary? Hey, you need to do this. You need to do that. This is going to be this way. This is going to be that way.
Now that you say it, I haven't seen it at all this year. Not one time.
I did see Trey Boston make some adjustments. And then that makes sense because he is the real leader, veteran that we have on the football team right now. But that's pretty much what we have going for us. Like we have Trey Boston and all of our fast guys are able to make plays on the football that they did today. How about that interception from Dante Jackson? We talked about it briefly, but we didn't talk about it enough. Like he was able to make his body skinny on that play and was able to get back in front of him and undercut that route and just take the ball away, man.
He did, but it's also against a rookie quarterback, right? A rookie quarterback and then here's one other thing is they would not have been in that position if I'm pretty sure the play before that was the Mike Williams offensive pass interference that put them in shitty down and distance.
But here's what I wanted to add to that. I think that was an incredible play by Dante Jackson, and I don't want to take anything away from him whatsoever. But as I watched that replay, that was one of the laziest routes I've ever seen. The dude was pulling up. Like he wasn't even looking back. He wasn't trying to do anything. So either that was a miscommunication or Justin Herbert was throwing the ball when the receiver wasn't timed ready to be able to actually get the ball, or he wasn't expecting to receive the ball.
I think Justin Herbert threw a good pass on that play. I just think that Dante Jackson.
He didn't see the but he didn't see that corner. You know what I'm saying? He threw a bullet. He did throw a bullet, and it was to the right spot. But he's looking at that guy crossing, and Dante wasn't the guy with him. Dante wasn't the corner that was with him. He was a different corner making a play on the ball.
Yeah, but no, I think when I watched that, that's why I commented on your post. I said that was a lazy route. I watched that. Yeah, if we have that replay, it looked like that receiver was pulling up. It looked like a very lazy route. He was not running the route the way that it was intended. It felt like because he just didn't think. I guess he just didn't think he was getting the ball that go around.
I'm looking at it one more time.
It's a good play. It's a good play by Dante. But look, it's a good play by Dante. And by the way, that's where. And I actually think that maybe this is a reason. This is another example of why I think this coaching staff particularly should be commended at this point.
Yeah.
Is think about what the story. Dante's story has never been not being a ball hawk. It's been about being disciplined, being in the right spots, playing smart. And not that he's not intelligent. That's not the point. Is that it was all in the last coaching staff got so frustrated with him that they basically gave up on him. We said this is our guy. I think that this coaching staff has been teaching these players have been in the right places. Now, have they always been making plays, particularly with the run defense and tackling? No, not all the time. But I don't think it's just been us, like, out of sorts. Maybe I'm entirely wrong on that. Anthony Lynn today, though, you guys did bring this up. You were talking about bad coaching on their end. Is that fair to say that, Cody, entirely? I know you said that they had no timeouts at the end, but they're down to some dude named something Stick. Did you not want them to take that timeout there to get Herbert back in the game? Because that was their timeout that they needed.
I mean, I don't really blame them because it was a third down, and you're going to trust what is essentially your third string quarterback on third down when you have to have it. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't – no, let me tell you. So, okay, I actually misspoke because I put it on Twitter that we lost – or that we won, rather, because they didn't use their timeouts effectively. I need to correct myself. So, basically, it's not because they didn't use their timeouts effectively, but it's because they weren't down in the football. Like when you snap it and stop the clock. That they needed.
And
to
is
do
that Herbert though?
Is
Is that on Justin Herbert at all?
No, I think that's on the coaching staff. So again, it's
to just be screaming in his ear, clock it.
Yeah. Well also clock it. That was what I was. The sideline is in control of that too. They would be telling everyone to clock the football. They should have been clocking the football and go to second down and give yourself more opportunities to make plays and give yourself more time. So it's not that I disagree with them for using the timeout. You want the quarterback in the hands of your the ball in the hands of your first round quarterback. So I don't blame them for that, but their time management, dude, that was terrible.
Reminded me a lot of Rivera.
Like there's so much. Like I'm trying to be positive because we won today, and good for us.
And you should be, except for we did not play the Chargers at full strength.
There's so many things that we also. Like winning football games is also about luck, and I'll be damned if we didn't have a horseshoe up our butt today.
Well, I think that CK said it right earlier. Is everything did go our way?
Yeah, we cannot rely on that.
Right, but you know what? You got to have a little luck. We'll take it. We'll take it today, though.
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, this is one of the easier games that we have all season, so you got to keep that in mind as well. That we are not looking at a scenario where the path gets any easier as time goes on.
What does it tell us, though, at the end of the day? Or one of the things that I think is funny about this is that the trade, right? The trade, which was between the Chargers.
Both of the guys were out.
None of them played, dude. I think, and I don't think that the Chargers did not have the game go they want. They did not want to throw the ball 49 times or whatever. That's crazy. All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? This is G. Cavassier.
Oh, man. Somebody was just asking about G in the chat room. What's up, brother?
That was a damn game. I was on the edge of my seat at the damn end, man. I was at the edge of my damn seat. Hey, man, them boys played pretty good. There's a couple times we went 3 and out, but hey.
Yeah.
Joey Slide, hey, man, that dude earned his damn money today, dog.
I'm telling you, boy.
That motherfucker earned his damn money, man.
He's going to be getting an extension at the end of the year.
That dude, hey, I put my hands up for that damn dude. That dude was on point. I know he got one blocked, you know what I'm saying?
That ain't on him, though.
For the extra point, whatever, man. And what's up with Mike Davis, man? Woo! That boy, hey, he showed me something, man. Like, for real, man.
He did,
showed
man.
Me something. That dude was tough as beans, man. And before I
really want there to be a rotation
that pissed me off during the game, they said it was a false start on Taylor Bowman. There wasn't no damn false start. He didn't even fucking move, man. Even the damn announcer said they got away with one. But, hey, man, I'm not pissed off at all, man. We 1-2. Keep pounding.
All right, man. First, G, you're a celebrity. You're a celebrity in the chat room. People were saying, "Where's G been at lately?" And cue the call, G Cavassier. It brought the excitement needed, right? It's because we do got to remember the Panthers ended a losing streak today, and also big shout out to Robbie Switzer for the super chat. Thank you for that. And what he says is this. He says, just want to say I love what you guys do. Enjoy watching you guys almost as much as Panthers football. Keep pounding. And you know what? We just like hanging out with you guys. This to me is that, and I think COVID has really brought to life what the C3 Panthers podcast has meant to me for the last 7 years. And that's just an opportunity to hang out with people that I like that I would hang out with if I could in person every week and watch the football game. And you know it's worked out. You've seen the friendships, that the community that's being built in the chat room each and every week. The fact that we are the longest running, but we might not get the most views. We might not get all this, but we have a tight ass community. And the fact that CK, that Cody and I have gotten to hang out with each other and form these great friendships. The fact that Tree 50 is always in the chat room, that you guys are always, I saw this and it was not West Underground West. Who was it? It was somebody else said this. They had the best comment in the chat earlier. They said JJ Jansen, also known as Redundant J. It was Tin Tizzy. That's who it was. I love that. First of all, I laughed so hard whenever
that is good.
I love the community and the friendships that we've been built. And you know what? It's made the COVID experience fantastic. Not fantastic. That's not the right word I'm looking for. Bearable to me. My wife had to go away with her friends to a beach weekend and all of this, and to this weekend. And they just basically 4 or 5 people stuck in this little trailer together. Right. And you know what? I got to just hang out and watch football and chat with you guys. Been great. Tree 50, thank you for your super chat. He says Teddy is a catalyst for a Joey Sly extension. That's a great comment right there.
You're not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
That's a fantastic. Joey Sly loves Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh yeah, he's loving Teddy's big D.
Okay, and I did want to, and before we go to the next call, I was thinking about this. Teddy's BD. That's funny. You guys were talking about the value of a running back and all this, and we're not going to go over into it again, but it's so hard when I see what Christian McCaffrey does, then I see Alvin Kamara fucking eating it up, right? I mean, like, he's looking sensational, but then you think this, Austin Eckler, undrafted free agent, right? And that isn't that the dichotomy? Is like, and it's like if you don't have the best running back in the league, it's just better to have an okay one.
Yeah, but dude, it's what I was saying earlier, man. How many undrafted running backs every year end up balling out, and they're just?
I don't think though that Christian should be compared to Zeke.
I mean, I can't. Well,
I think I think that when you're a pass catcher, when you can run between the tackles and catch the ball, you're not the typical Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically the Le'Veon Bell, but I would say probably a little bit better because you were doing it on a team that sucked rather than a Steelers team that always seems to have incredible running backs. But no, I agree. I think Christian McCaffrey has to be in a different category. He's given more production than any other. I mean, people want to. Somebody in the chat was talking about how Saquon Barkley is a better running back, and maybe just a pure running back. You might be right, but Christian McCaffrey is a far better football player than Saquon Barkley has shown on film in the past 3 years that he's been in the league.
So, real quick, I want to highlight some comments here. Joey the Blind Panther says, I come here every week, even though I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to work the next day. I'm up since 5:30 in the morning. Shout out to you, man. John Cowlishaw says, tell it, my guys. I listened to your episode twice when I'm feeling down or lonely. That's dedication right there, man. That's a real fan right there. And to the wonderful Miss Sarah Taylor, who says CMC is an anomaly. Dude is an absolute beast, but total understand what Cody is saying. And again, like, I'm more talking from the perspective of what you should do in building a football team. But man, listen, as a fan, Come on, I love me some City and City, bro. City, bro. I love that dude. I love that dude.
And
Man. I wouldn't trade him for another player in the world. I'm just saying, from a general manager's perspective, you can get really good, meaningful yards out of running backs that don't even get invited to the. Philip Lindsay for Denver wasn't even invited to the combine.
Well, Austin Eckler, Mike Davis, both of these are undrafted free agents. He is it, but I do think, and I agree with Sarah completely on this. Christian McCaffrey's an anomaly, and this comes, and it is a little humble pie for me because I thought it was going to be Leonard Fournette. I was on the Leonard Fournette train, and if we would have gone Leonard Fournette and we did that, then your comment, I would have been like, Cody, you're right. You're so right. I do think he's just a special talent, though, and I'm glad we have him. But when you do talk about allocation of salary cap, that's a different thing. We really need to talk about that. And it's not it's hard for us to have the real conversation. And it's actually hard for me to give your comment the due it probably deserves, Cody, because we're on a team right now where we don't have to allocate money to other players because we don't have any. So in some ways, it's just easy for me to say, pay Christian McCaffrey because he's the only good thing in my life.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Yeah,
so I mean, so I think,
The part you got to remember too, though, like if you look at the like we want to sit here and look at the money that he just got in this 5-year extension or whatever it was, right? But the reality is, if you look at what he's got 7 or 8 more years that he's with us now under contract.
Right. We should just make him a receiver. Would it make you feel better if we just called him a receiver?
No, I mean, even if you look at it from the perspective
Cody.
that I'm talking about. What I wanted to talk about is the fact that even if you spread his salary out, if you look at how much he's making every year for the next 7 years, he's not getting paid the elite amount. I mean, like that much more than what you would expect a good running back to get paid for. Like, because he's still playing out his rookie contract. That still exists. That we didn't sign him in place of the contract. He is still playing that. So if you look at the next 7 years and you average his salary over those 7 years, he is actually making a pretty team-friendly deal in that regard. So that's something I think we need to think about too.
Also, Aaron Jones turns out to be pretty good too.
Yeah.
God, sorry, he's been killing it.
Also,
I cannot. Humble flip keeps on saying CMC does not get points. Did you not see last year?
I thought he's had every touchdown we've had this year almost.
So that's what he's trying to say. That if you look at the yards and the production of McCaffrey, they were great, but he didn't get to. So, for example, like on those red zone or on those when you're right at the goal line,
2 or 3 games last year.
and when Christian like kind of gets stopped at the end. Listen, I'm not saying I agree with him, but
I just don't think it's fair to look at last
for
year's
more
team.
yards. Yeah, I don't agree
last
with
year's
him
team was the worst team. The last 10 we were so bad last year, dude. We were so fucking terrible last year at everything.
And I also recall
everything.
I also recall Christian getting a ton of touchdowns on plays when normally there would be no touchdown to be had.
He did have every touchdown we had this year almost until today.
Dude, at that Jacksonville game that we went to, early in the.
I'm just saying this year, the first 2 games, he got all the touchdowns.
Man, but dude, last year Christian had some plays going into the end zone, jumping over the defender and falling on his back in the end zone. Dude, that was, I mean, the man's incredible. No one's taking away from how talented Christian is.
I would just say this is we have paid like shitty receivers that type of money before. So I'm okay with it. Next call.
What's up, D3 Podcast? It's Run DMC.
What's up, Brian?
Oh, God.
I was actually very surprised we pulled out the dub here, but hey, it happened, man. Brian Burns looks like Von Miller out there today. He looked really great. I think we are going to have this young defense is going to get stacked next year. You got Brian Burns.
We're going to get somebody in free agency.
Like
That's
Von
what I
Miller
think.
2.0.
We might get some sacks this
year.
year.
In the second round. I feel like Derek Brown will be a rock for us in the future. And I'm just loving this. This defense played very well this game. And I think the future looks very bright for this defense. I was really happy with the play calling. I almost selfishly wanted to lose this game just for Trevor Lawrence at the end, but I feel like if we did lose, it would have made me think different of Matt Rule and this coaching staff. So I'm happy we won just so I have, like, faith. Like, if you get 3 turnovers and no penalties the whole game pretty much, you should always win if you're a good head coach. And you don't turn the ball over. So I'm happy we won for that. I would have actually been scared for this coaching staff if we lost this game with how well it went.
Oh God! Imagine this show. This is a good call. This is a very good call.
I'm happy we won. What are your guys' thoughts on the game, and what are your guys' thoughts on the future of this defense?
So
what do you guys think we should build around? And that's all I got, man. I'm out.
All right, I want to talk just real quick about the defensive line and why I'm excited about it. And not excited, I don't know if that's the right word, optimistic about the direction the defense is going to go. I don't think Phil Snow has been a bad defensive coordinator. And the idea, I see people talk about he doesn't know defense and this and that. I think, first, the sample set's too small, some different things like that. And I don't think we've just been calling poor defenses. I just think that some of it's just been, bad execution, penalties, some different things. But I will like to point out this, is that we're doing this with a defense that all the people are like, Trey Boston's the senior on this defense, right? And we had 0 free agent acquisition. This is kind of a homegrown defense out of a draft that had 7 defensive players. The idea that it should be better than this is actually kind of odd to me. And
yeah, it's unrealistic.
Right. And yes, we do want Brian Burns to be the next Von Miller. I do want that. I want Derek Brown to be the next it's not Aaron Donald. That's not the right person. Yes. I want all of that. Mm-hmm. But to ask for that to happen by week 3, I think this is that I like the way it's going. I think that we add another good draft pick, particularly in the secondary. I'd like to see like somebody like a Kuda type player who, by the way, got his first interception today. And maybe that's unrealistic, but somebody that is kind of a top-rate secondary player, and then you add one good piece through free agency, and then you're young. And you already got a guy who's got experience, then I see it. Then I see it happening. But I do think it's weird to think that we should be much better than we are right now.
Yeah, that's why I think that we need to. Again, we've talked about what Rule does, and that's rebuild. Right, that's what his goal is to rebuild teams, and that's what he's done in college. And so I think the reason, my point for asking, do we think we're getting better, is I think we are getting better as a team. Every week I've seen improvements. And so if you think about what the pattern for Matt Rule is as a coach, it's he builds this entire organization up. And over 3 years he did it in college. I think that he's going to have a little bit quicker success in the NFL and building up because you're going to be dealing with the best of the best. But that's on both sides. You're having to deal with the best you're going against as well. So I think that there is still going to be some pushback, but I think that we should be encouraged by what we're seeing. As tough as it is, because I do believe, Cody, we're going to screw ourselves out of a great quarterback next year in the draft. I do believe that.
Yeah, probably.
But maybe that gets us a great offensive lineman.
That's what I'm saying.
And maybe you get Justin Fields.
Yeah, even outside of that, let's say that this continues to progress and Teddy Bridgewater continues to get better, and they start to actually have some I guess better timing with our wide receivers and maybe that what do they call it, chemistry between wide receiver and quarterback will continue to grow and grow and grow, and hopefully Teddy Bridgewater will not just be the bridge, but that's especially if we're going to get screwed out of a great quarterback in the draft or the possibility of a great quarterback in the draft.
What if we get a quarterback through another means? And what about, what if the Jets get Trevor Lawrence?
Would you want to do Sam Darnold?
I don't know. I don't know. Everybody tells me all y'all. I mean, I don't know what people are saying. I don't know. I don't have a good opinion on it.
Every time a player gets away from Adam Gase, they have like a career rejuvenation. Like it's a trend
Ryan
now.
Tannehill.
Dude, a lot of people, man. Like, I mean, I don't know the names off the top of my head, but
Robbie Anderson.
There's like a trend that as people leave Adam Gase, players tend to blossom and spread their wings and realize their talent. My thing is this: to talk about bringing in another quarterback, not from the draft but like a free agent. My thing is, one, who, and number two, why would we do that when we already did that? That's exactly what we did with Teddy Bridgewater, and then we're gonna go and bring in someone else.
Would do it again.
That's making the decision to move on from Cam and stay with Teddy even worse. By the way, kudos. I think that's the longest we've gone with not mentioning Cam.
This has not been the Cam podcast so far.
Yeah, right.
Even though he played an incredible second half of the game today. By
the way, Cam Newton also produced one of the greatest memes of all time today. Tony, if you look in our message box, dude, it is golden, bro, and I miss him so bad. But I wanted to pinpoint some. We had some good comments in the chat too. Tree Fidget said, "I came into this game with Phil Snow as my weakest link, but against a rookie quarterback, he actually did his job and called a decent defense today. The type of defense I expected since week one." And I think that's a good comment. You know, you have to give credit where credit's due. Our defense did step up today. There were times when the middle of the field was still kind of open for us. But that's going to continue to be a problem with our linebacking core being the way it is. But I think all things considered, man, our defense did well. I continue to be impressed by Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin is an absolute animal. And if you know, when you're losing, you kind of don't notice because, well, we're losing. But, man, when you take some time to watch our defense and actually watch some film, dude, Jeremy Chin is all over the field. We have a young, talented defense, and it's going to take a little while for it to start to gel, of course, but we have talent on this football team on our defense. And
the only thing I have a problem with Phil Snow, by the way, and I'll let you finish that after this, is how often he runs a three-man rush. Like the amount of times he just runs three, just literally that's it. That's the only, he has three people rushing, and it never has worked. It has not worked yet. The only time we've gotten pressure is when we have that fourth man rushing or more, and so
which I don't think we saw it a lot. I don't even remember seeing it once today.
We saw it, and actually Joe Person actually made a tweet about it, and I responded to him, and I said, "Is the 3-man rush more indicative of his lack of confidence in our secondary, so he needs to drop back an extra person in coverage, or is it his overconfidence in his pass rush?" And
it's not overconfidence in your pass rush. It cannot be that.
Yeah.
We also had Brad Holt in the chat said we need to blitz more, which I also agree. If you're going to rush three, so that was actually a way that we were able to get pressure on Justin Herbert. We sent Dante Jackson on some blitzes. We sent Justin
Burris. Which, by the way, we blew up their trick play, and how they got the ball back, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That was crazy.
I have to say this while I remember it. How about Curtis Samuel low-key kind of having a game today?
Oh, God. I wanted to say, he's the greatest receiver of all time today. That's all I kept thinking. Anytime, I'm almost like rooting against him now, like you guys are rooting against the Panthers.
Dude, but if you notice, we had him lined up as a running back.
Yeah.
On a few plays. So another thing that we're not able to do that we did today is just was painfully obvious that Teddy was going to hand the ball off. We have the inability to do the RPO now, that run pass option.
Oh my God! Except for we did it one time today. You are right. We have it's not, but because we can't. No one believed it, even myself, when it happened today. Like Linville Joseph, who swallowed up the whole defense, the whole offense, was looking around like, what the hell? And then Teddy slid. I was like, oh my God, that even faked me out.
Yeah, I thought for sure Mike Davis had that right there. I was thinking 100% that he had it. And then when Teddy was running quick, I'm like, he is really faking this. Like, he is really selling this right now. And so, like, doesn't he know Mike Davis is down? Like, that still was, even when he slid, I was still in denial that he had the ball.
I know. Even when I saw it in his hands, I couldn't believe it. It was like a magic trick.
Again, and today, man, if you look at all the quarterbacks coming through the draft in the most recent years and the quarterbacks to come, they're all mobile. It doesn't matter if they're little guys or big guys. Like, they can run. Look at Justin Herbert. Like, that dude can move.
Which they did not do that at all today. And I would say I think that you guys should give, not you guys, whoever you guys are, theoretical world should give Cody a lot of props on his Justin Herbert analysis going into today, as I saw a lot of the things you talked about. And I'm not ready to say that he's going to be the best thing ever, and is this and that. I wanted Tua, and I can't wait to see Tua play eventually, right? But that one play where he was rolling, he was running full speed and threw it on the run. Full speed. He was, even his duck ball, the balls that were like ducks, that weren't even, he wasn't even getting like great spin on him. I was like, God, laser. Dude's arm is sick, bro. He's got this, and he does, the guy said he reminds, like, the comparison is Cam. That is the comparison. And the reason I say that is that his arm's so strong, the hardest thing for him to do is throw it to a guy that's 5 feet away from him.
But you know what, though? But you know what, though, man? He even does that well. Like, I felt like he was taking care of the football pretty well at the end of the game.
He was good. He was good.
Yeah, and you see all the traits of him that, frankly, we're missing right now. The ability to push the ball downfield into really tight windows in the back of the end zone. I mean, he has all the tools that you want from a franchise quarterback. And yeah, I do like the Cam comparison too, because if you're a safety or a linebacker, dude, you have to make some business decisions if he's running at your ass, man.
Shit. And yeah,
that dude is 6'6", 240 pounds. Like, that's a big ass dude running at you, man.
Oh,
so
dang, Breeze just fumbled it. Fumble. Come on, say it's a fumble. Please say it's a fumble.
It was a fumble, but it was recovered. It was a fourth down now, though.
Next call. Cover it.
What's up, C3? Yeah, it's Nova Black, man. And
Nova Black
finally got a win, but really, Chargers fucking up out there. I don't think this is nothing to be proud of. I'm definitely not proud of this win, but a win is a win in the National Football League. I'm gonna keep pounding, but the whole jury being out on Teddy Bridgewater, it's still, they ain't had no preseason and none of that other stuff like the mini camp saying woo. All the excuses is being made for him, but damn it, Justin Herbert is a first-year rookie, and he looked way better than Bridgewater today. So fuck those excuses. Excuse my language. Anyways, defense looks like it's getting better, but it's still a lot of rookie calls being made by the coaching staff, from my personal opinion. Sometimes they were playing the 30 front when they should have been playing the 40 front. Sometimes they playing the 40 front when they should have been playing the 30 front. Sometimes, they were playing nickel when I felt like they should have been playing dime or dollar or quarter, one of those. But I guess they got Shaq Thompson playing nickel and stuff like that, and all that other crazy stuff they're doing. But still, I think the play calling can be picked up and can get better on defense, man. They need to bring some of them linebackers closer to the line of scrimmage when they're going to run. It don't make sense to have them all the way back. Anyway, guys, keep pounding. I'm sure a lot of you guys see the same stuff that I've seen. Love you guys. Keep it moving. See y'all next pre-game show Tuesday. Hopefully I can tune in. I'm out.
Nova Black, man. It's so good to hear Nova in the cat calls, man. That does my heart well. Yeah, listen, I mean, we're just kind of choosing just to enjoy the W, man. I think we're all kind of in agreement on the defensive side of the football and the offensive side of the football. We saw a lot of play calling that just didn't line up. And again, to kind of bring it back to the fronts and even what CK was saying earlier about sending these three-man rushes and dropping everyone else back into coverage. I said it last time. I kind of think it's out of necessity more than anything else. They're okay with basically they want to be a good red zone defense. So they don't mind if you shred them between the 20 and the 20. And they don't even mind giving up some big plays. But they want to keep you out of the end zone. And I think that's a good idea for them because we're really not built to do much of anything else that way. So, again, I don't necessarily think, Coach Rule just loves to rush three because that's how you sack the quarterback and get pressures. I don't think that's it. I do just think that it's kind of out of necessity. And I also I feel like you made another point in that our defense is young. And we have a lot of young guys that are still learning football on the fly. And that's why it's important to have a year like this year where you're building because you're going to be able to build off of it in the coming years with our players like Derek Brown and Jeremy Chin. You're building towards something. And you have to have the bonehead mistakes that show up on film. Like, what the hell is he doing on this play? But then you have to have the other ones where they're going to make a stop when you're not expecting them to because they're able to use their talent and fly to the football, and that builds up over time. So
we might not
hopefully we get some better calls.
We might not get Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, just say this, but is that not getting Trevor Lawrence is not the only way this team can get better quick, like in a hurry,
right?
And so is that when you think about the youth and the talent on that defense, what we really need is this, and sadly it's going to be tough to add this through the draft, is the top-level left tackle. In fact, Cody, you know what? You should probably just start looking at that as what the Panthers need through the draft.
Left tackle from Oregon. He's a monster.
We're going to need that. And then the other is, but if you added Jamal Adams to this team through the draft, right?
Yeah.
Is that all of a sudden they're a lot better quickly, right? Maybe like big time better.
I think you look at the history of the Panthers, we've always been a defensive type of a team, right? Our defense has always been what is good. And what do you remember from all those years of us being good? We have always had a great middle linebacker. Always. Dan Morgan. Then you have obviously Luke Kuechly. The list goes on and on if you go down the list.
John
Beeson. Yeah,
John Beeson was the best. People forget this is John Beeson was better than Thomas Davis.
Let's look at the anchor to the Seattle
irony
defense,
that he was ruined by injuries and Thomas Davis wasn't is crazy.
Yeah.
And by the way, CK, I love you, brother, but that is the second time I've heard you say Luke Kuechly.
Kuechly,
bro.
Kuechly. No. Is it Kuechly?
Yes.
Like K-E-E-K. K-E-E-K.
Is this really a conversation?
I don't even hear the difference that you're saying. Like, I feel like you said
I hear him say
and he said
Keek.
Yes,
Kuechly.
What's the U in there? No, you're saying you. You don't pronounce the U. Chat, back me up on this. Come on, man. Luke Kuechly. There's no U there.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next call. Y'all are silly. I just spilled beer all over me, by the way.
In a game where I thought we were going to get fucking smoked, we actually won. Defense looked pretty fucking good out there today. Jeremy Chin also is a damn monster and should be teaching the rest of the team how to tackle.
This is what
That's
Cody's favorite.
probably
It was Cody's
the
favorite
biggest
draft
thing I
pick, by the
seen
way.
From our defense today was just how many times we were just missing tackles and they were breaking through little weak arm tackles. That was
Read the
ugly to
chat,
watch.
bro.
Other than that, man, we got pressure on the quarterback. Got picked. Troy Pride is, I think he's still struggling. Literally on the second to last play, I saw him line up with Keenan Allen, and I was like,
That's not fair.
Keenan Allen's going to burn this man and score a touchdown. And it
He
wasn't
fell
for Trey
down.
Boston.
He
I was
did
gonna be
fall
100%
down.
Right. Keenan Allen's in the end zone, and Troy Pride's eating fucking grass on the ground.
Yeah, he was.
But overall, defense looked pretty good. That's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see our defense might start actually clicking together now and getting them big boys moving up front. Offensive line, for everyone we had out, that offensive line looked pretty good, if not as good or better than the regular starting line. I mean, the O-line has not been our problem this year for the first time in forever.
Which is strange, isn't it?
Just the third and long, 3rd and 8, even 3rd and 4, man, we're just throwing 2-yard passes.
Ooh, this goes back to
right across the middle
CK's
that
comment
aren't
right
gonna
away.
get first downs. That's really fucking annoying to watch.
And I almost wonder if it's play call or if it's Teddy not having
I'm
a big
Cody
dick
when they say
mentality.
Trust Teddy's arm because on those little short passes, he's got a little zip behind it. But 3rd and 8, man, we throw a 4-yard curl around the middle of the fucking field. That is, goddamn, I don't know how many times I saw that today. That was really fucking annoying. But hey, our team got their first win, and I really thought we were going to get our asses handed to us. So it's good to see the defense step up. Anyway,
Yeah.
you guys, I'm going to try to catch the live stream. And as always, keep pounding.
All right, so what's awesome about this is I love how the calls coincide with so much of the discussion, right? Is that a lot of discussion, and if you think about it too, in the history of our discussion in this podcast, we cover this team every day, all day, and we talk about it relentlessly. You've heard a lot of things in that call that had to do with things that Cody's talked about when it comes to Teddy Bridgewater's ability to push the ball, arm strength. And sometimes I think it's not even arm strength, but the BD mentality a little bit.
I'm so happy you said that because I was about to say
it's almost
not
a
Teddy's arm.
conservativeness to him, like his a scaredness. It's just like, hey, I just take the pass that I'm going to complete rather than the pass I need to make. But then what CK was talking about earlier, too, really comes in this call here about the 3rd down play calling. And then I got to wonder this. We're going to have to look at the coaches, all 22. Is it the actual play calling or is it Teddy not taking
the
what he
shots
needs?
that he has.
The one, he's taking the underneath route rather than the real. I don't know what it is. And then as that's happening, I look over and I'm watching Sunday Night Football and I see Aaron Rodgers throw this bomb on the run and then come and dab. Then he walks up to his own player afterward and wipes the sweat off his head afterwards because he made such a beautiful catch. Crazy. A lot of things come together in that call. I'm going to pass the mic to you guys. Let's talk about Teddy taking the real. Is he playing conservative?
I think so, man. Listen, it's not, as you said and alluded to. I don't think it's his arm. I mean,
it partially is. It definitely is partially. He does not have a cannon. He does not have.
He does not. The ball downfield far,
but it's the looping. It's the big looping. Put air under it type.
Well, yeah, a lot,
which is not bad all the time.
But a lot of people confuse throwing a football far with arm talent,
right?
And that's not what that is. It's ability to zip a ball into a very tight window where only your receiver can make a play on the football. That is something we have not seen from Teddy. But if we have receivers open downfield, there's no reason why Teddy shouldn't be throwing it. I mean, it's not like we're talking about Drew Brees' shot little noodle arm here. You know, we're talking about.
Well, maybe we are. Maybe it's the same thing.
I don't think that it's shot. I just think that Teddy BD has a SD mentality, man.
Wow. That's crazy. I don't understand. It's kind of like when you meet a hot chick and they have poor self-esteem.
Or they stink real bad.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say this. Is like, how can you have a poor self-esteem? Like, I'm ugly and I got good self-esteem. How do you have... So, anyway, what was the other part of the call? Play calling, Teddy, anything else we missed?
I don't think so.
Good call. All right, keep going here.
What's going on, C3 Nation? It's your boy Jay Anderson.
What up, Jay?
I just want to give a shout out to three names: Marquise Hayes for breaking the drought of the sack streak, the sack drought. I mean, shout out to Brian Burns and shout out to Jeremy Chin. That's all I need to say.
Wow, three defensive players.
Hey, by the way, just out of curiosity, how has Isaiah Simmons been playing? Outside of that first game where he got burnt a few times.
I think Jeremy Chin turns out to be the better pick.
That's what.
And the reason I'm saying that is that all of this mess about, like, if you're gonna hold the running back thing about what they're worth and what they're not worth, maybe it's better to get the guy who can do. It's almost like is Levante David in the third better than Luke Kuechly in the first?
No, can I just say something real quick? I'm not watching the Cardinals very intently.
They lost to the fucking Lions today to remind me that I know nothing about football.
What I'm saying is this. Say what you want. I believe if Isaiah Simmons was on the Panthers, he would continue to have a really good impact on this team. Seeing how we're using
Jeremy Chin. Pick him at 7.
My thing is that I don't know how their defense is playing Isaiah Simmons. I don't know where they're lining him up. I don't know when they're taking him on and off the bench. There's a lot of things I don't know.
That's your homework, bro.
Yeah, I guess we got to figure out for next week anyway.
Yeah, no, really, that really is homework. We're playing the Cardinals next. So we're going to be seeing them. It'll be
I got the
interesting
Game Pass, bro. I'll shoot you the login.
All right, cool.
All right. Any other points there? Oh, Brian Burns. We need him to be. Look, we picked him at 16. He's you know what? He's gotten to the quarterback today. He made a big difference in the game.
Absolutely.
Giant difference in today's game is that even if he's not necessarily getting home and this year and getting sacks at this point today, he made two plays that actually, arguably, without those are the two plays that won us the game. Right? We were talking about this earlier. Is that did the Panthers win? Did the Chargers lose? Did this and that? And the turnovers, those are more costly. Those are just as costly as the Dante Jackson interception in many ways, except for Dante did take it almost all the way to the house. Did we even score on the Dante Jackson interception, or did we get? I mean, we did score. Did we get more than 3 out of it?
No,
that's a good question. Not a good question, but someone can answer in the chat. But Brian Burns, regardless of whether or not he's been complete and setting that and this and that today, 2 giant plays. And chin check, right? Each week. That's our segment.
I love it.
Our defensive segment of the week is going to be chin check. That's what I think it should be. All right, next call, 252-228-5098.
I like that.
Hey, guys. It's Joey's Button Panther.
What's up, Joey?
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord, unless you want Trevor Lawrence, which I do. But I'm not mad at the fact that we won because it may be our only win of the season. But if we keep improving,
that's
it may
the
not
story.
be our only win of the season, and we may not need Trevor Lawrence.
A full goal.
Wow.
Yeah, guys, that was the most complete game I remember not that I remember, that the Panthers played this season. Our offense was productive. Our defense was productive. Joey Sly didn't miss a kick, although the extra point was blocked, but I don't know that was his fault because I just know that it was blocked. Obviously, I didn't see how it was blocked. I just know that it was blocked from listening on the radio.
He is blind, folks, for people that don't know Joey the Blind Panther. That's why he's saying he can't see it.
There's no way we're going to win this. Or not the one, there are many more. This is a game that I thought, shit, there's no way we're going to win this. Their defense is good. Their offense is good. You know, I thought we were going to be 0-3, but obviously we're not. And I'm happy, of course, as a fan. I would never say that I'm not happy, but, you know, let's not be a 5-11 team. Let's, you know, let's play similar to this.
You won't deny.
If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. I'm not excited. I'm not mad that we won at all. Far from it. Anyone who is not a fan. Anyway, guys, and no, you're not a fan if you don't, you know, you don't want to win games more than you want the number one.
Tell him, Joey.
Pick, but you can't be like mad when we win a game. Anyway, guys. Wow.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
Wow.
Thank you.
You know what? I've even noticed the subtlety in this growl because it has that little kind of sound at the start, like he's gargling something. It sounds very legit. That's could have fooled me in thinking it was
gargling something.
Well, dude, you know, there's like that rumble in the base of a growl when you hear a big cat about to roar. It's like that low grumbling sound, and Joey hits that pretty well. So,
all right. One thing, I've got a big suggestion to OBS Streamlabs, and it is adding videos to your next scene. You cannot see the video until you actually transition to it. I do need to put this up. I just saw this, is that the Panthers. Oh, and of course, again, I can't edit the soundboard until then. Let's see. You guys talk for a second. I'm going to try to get us this. I want to see what Matt Rule says in his post-game thing. That's what I'm hoping for. Any thoughts on Joey's? I think it's a good call by Joey Blind Panther. And remind people, it is he could when he says he couldn't see. He means he couldn't see.
When we win.
Right. All right. So let's see this. Is that I just saw this. Could you guys hear that audio, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. I have not listened to this. I don't know. This is Matt Rule after the game, and I guess he's giving out a game ball. Let's see what he says.
I personally really appreciate the guys who stepped up in that game. Guys were down. Greg Little, Trent Scott, you guys, Mike Davis, you guys just all came in. Reggie, I mean, I just can't appreciate you guys enough for that. So let's understand that we won this game during the week.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys' work during the week. Now, we're going to have a new little tradition when we win, if that's all right with you guys. Where's Coach Foley at?
Yeah, Foley.
Where's Coach Foley?
I got a little song. It goes something like this.
Sweet Caroline,
Third NFL game, but your very first win. This game ball goes to you.
All right, I gotta say I'm 100% disappointed by that.
Yeah, 100%.
That was awful. And why I say that is the Sweet Caroline so played out. And a lot of people you say that should be the Boston thing. It is the song that every bar plays at the end, that every white bar, like if you go into the whitest bar in the world, where there are no black people in it. At last call, they play Sweet Caroline. And then to see a group of black people singing Sweet Caroline at the end of that, I got to say, I was hoping for more.
I'm in a hunt. Listen, if we're gonna take shit for this, and I don't care, I'm in 100% agreement. Sweet Caroline needs to go, bro. And you know what? I know the song they need to replace it with. Petey Pablo, man. North Carolina, take your shirt off, spin it like a helicopter.
Big Slim says,
dude,
bro.
Can you imagine the stadium if we were getting ready to play that? Every dude in the entire stadium just take their shirt off and just
be the most lit thing ever, bro. Bro, we need to make a petition to change Sweet Caroline with some Petey Pablo, bro.
I think it's
Come on now.
First of all, Big Slim says I think it was dope. He said fire, 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 and which I do think is also funny is that 3 white dudes saying it's too white.
hey, but we're not wrong though.
Game ball. I like to hear. And I think I've misspoke on this podcast because I had assumed because to hear Whitehead was.
Zoe has a good comment, by the way.
Closing time.
No, we didn't go to a white bar to play Semisonic Closing Time when it's closing time.
They do play that at last call. Oh no, actually, that's a good point. You're right. Right. Is that I don't like Sweet Caroline personally. Like it's just not my thing. But I get all right. So I think Big Slim is saying this. We ain't heard that mug in a long time though.
So let's
the other thing is though to have the guy. He's from Philly. This coach. And now they're instituting. It's like we're gonna eat barbecue after each game and sing Sweet Caroline.
Is that what he was doing? Is eating barbecue?
No, I don't know. They should because they brought this old guy in to sing it too, which was awesome. But the players loved it. The players liked it. They were happy in the video.
Bro, but that's really what I'm on now. We gotta change the song to Petey Pablo, man.
Yeah,
like I'm not
North
North
Carolina.
Take your shirt off, spin it like a helicopter, bro. That's that shit. And look, you're gonna have men and women, especially once we're finally a good team in the playoffs. I'm just saying. Some of the ladies might feel so enticed to do so when they hear the song.
Oh Lord! All right, so game. All right, this is what the one thing I did want to say before we go to the next call is that I may have I have misspoken in the last couple podcasts. Is I assumed because Tahir Whitehead was a captain that Shaq wasn't, and he was wearing a C today, and I did not know that until today. So. Shaq was the one passing out that ball, gave that game ball to Matt Rule today. That was a big deal. And from what it sounds like, Greg Little went down. Maybe from that comment, it was not like he was benched. He would not if he was benched.
No, he wasn't talking about that. He was talking about how he stepped up. Like he was. That's what his comment was. Is like him and everybody else. They stepped up throughout the week. It wasn't saying like because you went down. Or anything like that. He was putting them in the same category as Mike Davis and everything.
What's the name of that song? All right, let's go to the next call. What's the name of the Petey Pablo song, by the way? I should know because it's like I'm
about to look it up. I should know too,
this
man.
Tanner from Elkin. I was out of town this weekend. Couldn't even find a stream to pirate of the Panthers and Chargers game because I guess there was that little interest in it. But looking at the highlights, just got to celebrate my man Joey Sly coming in, MVP of the game. We got to.
They should have gave him the game ball.
But I think that he is the future of kicking at the Panthers.
The future of kicking. He's. You know what? If he's not the future of kicking, he's the future of tackling.
Yeah.
Him and JJ Redundant. Special team players of the week.
What's going on, C3 Nation? This is Jay Anderson again. I don't want to
real quick, pause
throw a negative wrench.
I'm pausing.
Who was the guy that did the last call before
I
Jay?
think it was Tanner.
Tanner?
Maybe. I think so. Hold
Bro.
on. Real quick.
So this is Tanner from Elkin.
Yep, I was right. Yeah.
Tanner from Elton. Follow me on Twitter, bro, at CodyLac, CodyLac. Just DM me, man. I'm going to hook you up with the stream, dog. You already know what it is.
He's and I want to know this, is I messaged you about the Red Zone stream. And I don't know if you were up yet. I don't know. Like, I was like, where? And I was trying to find it. I was on Reddit looking for it, and I was finding all these bunk ass shits. And then you find it right away. You're like the whisperer of underground streams.
I got this shit, bro. I got you. Don't worry about where I get them from. Just know that I got
That's
you.
why I feel like, but I feel lazy. I would just ask you for it, but I tried today to find it on my own. Was not working.
By the way, the name, real quick, plug whatever you want, but real quick, the name of that Petey Pablo song is Raise Up. Not Rise Up. Raise Up.
All right. So Joey the Blind Panther, let me blow your mind. Bank of America Stadium isn't the name of that stadium at first. So they have actually changed the name of the stadium already. It used to be Ericsson Stadium.
Yeah.
So,
back when Ericsson was actually a phone company.
Yep. Anyway.
Hold on.
All right, you can go back to Jay.
All right, I'm going back to Jay.
Cody Lack, C-L-A-C. L-A-C, John.
What's going on, C3 Nation? This is Jay Anderson again. I don't want to throw a negative wrench on this win or nothing like that. But my only beef is with Joe Brady. And the reason why I say this is because the expectation of Joe Brady. And I watched LSU, last year, and Cody can contest to this. LSU had this flying. I thought this offense would have been a hot.
I would like to talk about
I feel like we should have been a hot, flying, young offensive team, just throwing the ball, and coming out, the running game and just throwing. I mean, we got the weapons. We got Robbie, we got DJ, we got Curtis, and stuff like that. I feel like those boys should have been flying down the field. I mean, connecting, whatever. But to have 221 passing yards, a total of 302 yards. Yeah, we got the win, but I feel like this offense should have been like a high flying, offense. Especially with the first game, we should have been like a high flying offense, like just going crazy because, it's a new system and nobody expect us, didn't know what was coming from us. So I felt like we should have been just a high flying offensive team. And I would hope to see that. They're probably just saving it for later season, but I feel like we should have been doing that out the gate. That's my only thing, but great win, especially for the defense for stepping up. Now I'll let your boys know.
I got a question. Is anybody watching the football game right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Green Bay's punter a girl?
Dude, I was getting ready to say, is Green Bay's punter like 12?
I think it looked like a girl. It's like, man,
now I need to see. There's no way.
But I would like to. I think Tree Fitty hit the nail on the head with this. I know it's easy to kind of look at this offense and say we're kind of disappointed, but Joe Brady doesn't have a tight end. As much as we want to agree, believe that he does not have a tight end. Ian Thomas has not been anything to write home about. Chris Manhertz has been what he always is, which is a blocking tight end, which did not do very well today, by the way, sacking his own quarterback. There's definitely moving parts, but I think it all boils down to not having either confidence in your quarterback or a quarterback that's able to run that type of offense.
Another thing to remember, too, is that, we've been talking about Teddy Bridgewater. He has a real trepidation pushing the football down the field. Listen, Joe Burrow doesn't have the greatest arm either, but one thing that he didn't mind doing was throwing the football down the field. And he had receivers that were making separation everywhere. So again, you can't take an LSU offense who's playing, one, other colleges, so they're playing other college players. And number two, it's LSU. They have 5 stars everywhere. They're almost their entire
And they had
offense
Joe Burrow. Let's give Joe Burrow credit, who's been amazing.
Yeah, but also
and
it was also the
Philadelphia
talent around them
sucked a
too.
D.
Their offensive line won the Bednarik Award. Like, that was a good football team. So what you're looking at,
I tried to tell you they were awesome, bro.
What you're looking at when you look at LSU's film from 2019 is what you hope the Panthers are going to be in the next 1 or 2 years after
Once
they continue
get
to
all the people.
And a quarterback. Most importantly, and a quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I think the benefit Joe Brady came into is he had a team that was already built. All he needed to do was create an offense that was going to run efficiently and explosively, if you will, in that organization. And he came in and he did just that. You can't do that right now with an organization that is coming out of a complete rebuild. Like, as much as you want to believe it's not the case, this is a rebuild, guys.
For sure.
Dude, this would be so much. Like, I still think, dude,
I think that's way better.
A lot of people say the old people wouldn't like that. I think the old people would get into that. 100%.
Yeah, everyone's dancing, bro. Everyone's dancing when you play that shit, bro.
Dude,
and it's almost like a subtle jab to the Falcons because they have Rise Up as their name.
Yeah.
Raise Up, and it's even fucking cooler, bro. Dude, we need to make this a thing. This needs to happen. Dude.
Problem is, it says North Carolina and not Carolina.
Who am I? Petey Pub, motherfucker. First put it down for North Carolina. Guess what?
Who am I? Cam Newton, motherfucker. Oh, that's right.
You better pause that video. They're playing the shit out of me.
I know.
Dude, you know what they're going to do? You know what we need to do?
We
The
just got
Panthers need to
popped by
reach out to
YouTube.
him to make that song, but have it about the Carolinas instead of North Carolina.
Yeah, make him say, "Let's go Carolina."
Yeah.
Bro, that's what it needs to be, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, tell me
100%.
that wouldn't be the shit.
Yeah, we've
After
been trying
we
to
win,
say it. I've been not on the Sweet Caroline for a minute, particularly when Boston's been playing it for like 40 fucking years or whatever. It's been a long time. You know, the Red Sox play it every time. The Red Sox play it after a win. Like, I feel like you can't have a team that's younger.
Isn't he from Boston or that area or some shit?
I don't know.
Like, who sings the song?
I'm watching the post-game show right
Hold on. I don't know. You guys look that up. I'm going to play the next call, all right?
All right.
Let me see. This call is low, so let me turn it up a little bit. Restart this sucker.
Hey, it's Tyler from Spruce Pine. I'm watching the post-game show right now, and you guys are talking a lot about Marty Hurney, but I just wanted to bring something up that I don't hear talked about very often, and that's the fact that Marty Hurney, I'll put it this way, how many times do you see somebody that's a general manager of a store, right? That general manager almost runs the store into bankruptcy. That general manager then has to get fired, and then we bring in a penny pincher to fix his mistakes, finally get over the salary cap where the store finally starts to profit again. They fire the penny pincher and then hire that guy that got fired in the first place to run things again. How many times does that happen in the real business world? Marty Hurney should have never been brought back. He's incompetent as a general manager. I think
he shouldn't have made it past the last year.
Okay. I never thought he was the master talent evaluator that he's sometimes said to be. I definitely don't think he can structure contracts. We've always been in salary cap hell ever since he has been general manager, but that's besides the point. But how many times do you hear that happen? I just don't hear that brought up enough, that he should have never been hired back in the first place. And probably the first person that Tepper should have fired whenever he got hired on, or not got hired on, when he bought the team, is to fire Marty Herney, because that is an absolutely ridiculous hire that Jerry Richardson made whenever he, I think, already had one foot out the door. Let's take care of Marty before I leave. So.
It's the call of the night.
man.
It's really the call of the night is that I can understand Jerry Richardson bringing his boy back, right? Like, I mean, you can you're not going to say it's the right thing to do, but you can understand why it was. You hire a guy at the last two. I mean, you fire a guy at the 11th hour. We fired the guy the day training camp started, Dave Gettleman, right? Yep. And then, so, I mean, I can understand, like, hey, we got to bring in a guy that's been a GM that can do this real quick for a little while. But the call of the night is that, you know, it's even one thing to say the fact that Marty Herney that we didn't put in a new plan in place with Rule. It should have been a full plan together. You bring in the GM and the coach together, and you say, this is y'all. You sink or swim together. We don't fire the GM or fire the coach. You either both make it work or you're both the fuck out of here.
And that's why it makes me so mad, dude. We've already started to redo entirely the way this football team looks. Why are you clinging on to yesteryear? What does Marty Herney do for this football team other than put us in salary cap hell and cut players with potential that we could be using right now? I still maintain that we could be using Jordan Scarlett, that he should have gotten a chance to at least prove something. Another thing is,
why draft him, right? Here. Why fucking draft these guys, period?
100%. And let me pose this to you. If we fire Marty Herney tomorrow, how many other teams are even giving him a phone call?
Nobody gave him a phone call when he got fired the first time.
Dude, it's like, it's one thing when I was being like, dying on the hill of Ron Rivera being fired, because it's so evident when the team isn't well coached. But whenever you're talking about a GM, all of those things aren't so readily apparent every single game in and game out. But dude, it's more of a problem than it ever has been, and especially
it's also one thing too when you're talking about a regime, the old regime. And you're like, well, he worked kind of in this pinch. But you are doing the rebuild. You brought in a guy. You gave him an 8-year contract. Rule, you redid everything. The idea that Marty Herney, it was already surprising enough. We thought it was just a matter of time. We just thought it was like, all right, let's get through the draft. We have a new coaching staff. We're going to put this. We didn't do the time. We didn't get the timing right. But what did I tell you? I told you guys we should have done this. We should have been installing this a year earlier. You should have let the general manager hire the fucking new coach. And it's his guy that he brings in, right? But no, Tepper brings meatball-eating Marty Herney, and they go to Matt Rule. Basically, they should have just, I don't understand, is like, unless Matt Rule is going to be the GM. Is that what it's going to be? Are they trying to make Matt Rule what
God,
Bill Belichick is?
No.
Because then it doesn't make any sense then. Why do you let a guy that you have no faith in help hire the new coach? You should have installed either the new GM and then hired the new coach, or said this is I'm getting the new GM and a new coach, and I decided I don't get it. But what do you do now? You fire Marty Herney. Think about what it's going to be like now. You fire Marty Herney or demote him, which they've already kind of implied is going to happen. They're going to keep him involved with scouting somehow. And then you're going to bring in a new general manager. But the new general manager has a shorter contract than the head coach. So what happens when the draft doesn't go right or something goes on? What it doesn't make any sense. And I thought that the Appaloosa fucking hedge fund manager who we would assume is a business genius would be more attuned to the way business structure should work. I don't think we got an appropriate structure. And at this point, you know what? We might keep Marty Herney because maybe he's a lame fucking duck. And why do you say it's not Matt Rule? How do you bring in somebody that's going to tell Matt Rule what to do? You bring in a new GM, Matt Rule's going to be telling him what to fucking do.
From the perspective of our owner is a cutthroat billionaire that's made his money on Wall Street, and if you don't make dollars, you don't make sense. So my mind is like, what? So if you're not actually doing the things that a general manager is tasked with doing, like, then you're only keeping him here for what? For face value? Like, he doesn't. If he doesn't do anything here, then you're telling me that our billionaire owner is just keeping him around because he's an all shucks, okay, dope guy. Like, what the fuck? I don't understand. It makes no sense.
But what about the next guy?
Crazy.
But the next guy, you bring in the next guy, he can't be over Matt Rule. He will not be Matt Rule's boss at this point. It's too late.
I'm just saying there aren't very many Bill Belichick's in the world, and the only other scenario where there is a head coach who is also the general manager is the Houston Texans. And absolutely fuck that, dude. There is a reason why.
I get it. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. But what I'm trying to tell you is this: is that if you bring in somebody and you try to say this person is my boss, ultimately the head of this, the general manager, they're gonna give him a different title or something, and it's gonna be stupid. They should have done it the right way and brought in a GM with Matt Rule and said, you live together, you die together.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, bro. I mean, that's what I would have done when I was saying rip the Band-Aid off and just do all this shit right now. But
I agree, and I think this was a giant mistake, is hiring a coach before you hire the GM. And if at the very minimum, the GM may have been strong-armed into hiring the guy that Tepper wanted, but at the end of the day, he can't say I didn't have a part of it. And I just think it's a poor way to do it. I think that this is going to be a problem until we figure it out. And I don't know how we're going to figure it out at this point. I don't know how you're going to bring in a GM. And you're trying to tell me you're going to bring in a GM and they're going to... What if they say this? What if we get 3 years in and they say fucking Matt Rule's the problem? Guess what? He's not.
Yep.
You're the problem, bitch. Because you ain't got an 8-year contract. So I don't like the way... I think they really screwed the pooch on this, man. On that.
So two more things to add on that. You hit on a really good point there, Tony. And all of the coaching turnover that, for example, the Jets have had, they always do this thing where they hire the head coach and then they bring in the general manager. So you have a general manager who has no say-so in how the team is being built. It's the backwards way to do it, and that means that whenever Marty Herney does go, we're doing things the backward way because we're going to have a GM who says, look, these are the coaches we have. I signed them to a 7-year deal. They ain't going nowhere. I mean, your job is to draft.
Your job is to figure out how to work with them. That's
figure
what
out
your
the
job
draft,
is.
Figure out free agency and all the things that go along with being.
We really messed up. You know what? We should have just.
That's my dream job, by the way.
We should have fired Dave Gettleman, promoted Billy Bean, or whatever his name is. Whatever Bean.
Billy.
I always feel like I'm going to say the baseball guy. All right, next call.
So this is Brandon from Elkin.
We've already heard this. We're all right.
Hey, it's Tyler from Spruce-Pine.
We've heard this one?
I'm watching the post-game show right now.
Yep. All right, last call. Is this the last call right here?
Hey, how's it going? This is Tree Fetty, first time calling in.
What's up, Tree Fetty?
Tree Fetty! Just want to maybe just voice my thoughts a little bit. First off,
welcome.
This was a good win. And, the defense, they came through. Finally, Phil Snow has to show his shit. You know, for what, a 65-year-old dude, man, about time you call it good defense. Mike Davis, him coming off. I mean, shoot, the guy ran for 2 yards last year and got paid $3 million for it. Ran for 1 yard prior to the Chargers game and went off this game. Salute you, Mike Davis. I hope you get into the rotation. I hope we don't do no stupid shit whenever CMC come back and go back to 97% CMC. Also, I would like to tell people to get the fuck off of Joey Sly. Joey Sly is that guy. I've been caping for him since last year, since
it's a good tackler,
with no rookie year. Well, he's an undrafted guy just like Joey Sly. He came in at the end of the season, he made 4 kicks for the Redskins. For the next season, he kicked 68%. While Joey Sly in his first year kicked 78%. You know? Give the guy a break. You saw what he's been on. He's been accurate since the last 5 games last season.
Oh, he's
and this season,
Joey Sly.
2 extra point missed, 1 blocked and 1 just missed. It is what it is. Joey Sly is that guy.
Okay, he likes Joey Sly.
And
He's a good tackler.
Let me see what else. Teddy Bridgewater. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 35 points.
That's
like I was saying before, you're going to make Joey Sly.
I want to pause this. What he said was this: there was no reason we shouldn't have 35 points. So this should have been a blowout for the Panthers.
The fucking man, because right now I think he's beating Chris McCaffrey total points scored for the team. Like Teddy Bridgewater, there's a reason why you want to score 14 points in your best year with the Vikings. You're very safe, you're accurate, but you're not trying to take the game. You're not trying to claim the fucking game. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if we're building, but with you and Joe Brady, I expect more from you. I expect at least 25 to 27 touchdowns. I mean, is that too much ask? If it is, let me know. But that's all I got. Let me know what y'all think about my brief little summary of thoughts. C3, keep pounding. Glad we got that win.
Good call. 350. First of all, 350 might be a first-time caller, but I know that homie hangs out in the chat room. He's one of our peeps. He's in the community. He's a big part of our community each and every week. And I misread your call at first. I thought you were saying that Joey Sly wasn't doing well, and I was like, he's a good tackler. Joey Sly, though, the only thing that's bad about Joey Sly is that he's not Harrison Butker.
Yeah, that's
really it. It's like I actually hated Graham Gano. So you said to me, Cody, you're going to be missing this and that and this and that. As I just didn't like Graham Gano. Joey Sly, though, if he can clean up those extra points, it could be the truth.
Yeah,
can we talk about?
I'm pulling for him.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him too. And honestly, even with the extra kicks, I mean, there was one this year that he missed, right? I mean, there are many more kickers out there that are doing so much worse than Sly right now. And I am glad, and here's the part. We want to shit on Hurney a lot, right? And yeah, even this year, he's let go of talented players that I feel like could have contributed to the team. But he did not do another Harrison Butker with Joey Sly and let Joey Sly walk. Joey Sly would have gotten signed somewhere else, and he would have gone on and been successful elsewhere. But decided
Hurney was the wussy that picked Gano over Butker.
But again, progress. He didn't do it again this time.
Okay.
So now we don't have to do it. We don't have to go through this whole process of what could have been, other than with Cam Newton and the others that we didn't get to see, such as Andre Smith and so on and so forth.
Alvin Kamara get eaten this season, by the way. Motherfucker's getting his.
He is trying. He's so mad. He wants to get paid so bad, dude.
He already got a contract. No, he got it.
Did he?
Got his. Yeah, he got it. Yeah,
I
he's performing to it. I'm pretty sure he did.
Kamara's the highest paid running back in the NFL right now.
Dude. And you know what's going to be so funny? He's going to fall off a cliff when he gets a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field. Because that's the only reason that he is getting this many. Same thing with Christian McCaffrey. You're going to see that happen once you're going to see his production cut in half once we get a quarterback that can throw the ball down
that's
the field.
a great point, is that you guys were saying, who was it earlier? That Teddy Bridgewater's getting Joey Sly paid. In some ways, these guys are getting these running backs paid.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks,
Yeah,
350.
but also,
For the
even if you can throw the ball down the field, it benefits you to have a running game. So that way you can shoot the clock too. I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm watching the game right now. A lot of people are calling for Jameis Winston to get in there since
they just pulled ahead. No, he threw a 12-yard pass. Look at Nick Foles.
I don't know. I think that running backs like Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, no matter what, you're going to feed them the ball. You're going to try and take the clock down with them. But and you even mentioned Leonard Fournette earlier, Tony. I think now that he's with Tampa Bay, like he's perfect for them. Like,
he is, but he's not what Kamara and McCaffrey are. And what I realize is this: is Kamara and McCaffrey are new age running backs. The new age. They're the new age. They're guys that are strong enough to hold up in between. You know, they can run the ball. They're like if Marshall Faulk could play today. You know, as Marshall Faulk played in the NFL, that probably was better for an Adrian Peterson. Marshall Faulk today would be, you know, they're. So I just think Leonard Fournette, Derrick Henry, a little too one note for me. These guys are receivers and running backs. All right, last call of the night.
And then
hey, what's up? This is Kevin from Charleston. I got a question.
What's up, Kevin?
Why does our red zone offense just constantly suck? I feel like it's been sucking for the past
9
2 or 3
years.
years.
It feels like 9 years.
About our red zone offense, it's always been the same thing. Run Cam up the middle and fuck him up.
If we didn't have Cam, we would have never scored a touchdown for the last 10 years. All right, why is that? I'll tell you why. Because we got too many fucking Curtis Samuels, dude.
No.
We got too many small, skinny little bitches, and we got your boy, Teddy Bridgewater, this and that. You want to get a red zone offense? Give me Keenan Allen on this team. Sorry.
I get what you're saying.
Is that what we got is this? We picked bums. We picked a bunch of fucking bums to try to be this. We picked Kelvin Fat-Ass Benjamin, bum. We picked Devin Salad-Eating Funches, bum. And we needed... You know what? The best red zone threat we've had for the last 9 years is a guy by the name of Brandon LaFell. And that motherfucker is a bum. Or was a bum. You know, I'm just sorry. It's hard... Is that when you get inside the red zone, Tyreek Hill is not the answer anymore. You know, I mean, is that no matter how talented? Yes. Does that mean they're irrelevant? Or no, should I say no? Does that mean they're irrelevant at that point? No. But I'm sorry, is that like this? Is that, imagine, you guys were talking about why can't we stretch the field? Why aren't we doing this and that? And like, well, I think some of it's Teddy. I think this is that, like, Robbie Anderson would be a fucking amazing compliment to somebody that was big and strong on the other side.
Yeah, he would. And by the way, we have the dude on our team. We picked him up. He was one of the draft picks I liked from a few years ago. His name is Hakeem Butler. He is on our practice squad.
I wanted to also ask about Tremaine Johnson before we leave, too, but... Keep going.
I haven't seen.
Who do you get rid of to pick up to activate Butler? Because we're not going to run Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, and Robbie Anderson.
Seth Robertson.
Hey, no, dude. How about the? I saw number
Curtis Samuel. Bum.
No. What's that dude? That white boy. His name sounds like Zylstra.
Zylstra. Why he was the practice camp fucking extraordinary or training camp, whatever. Where the fuck is he at,
bro? The only reason the Cardinals got rid of Hakeem Butler was because they already are loaded at the wide receiver position. They just didn't have room for Hakeem Butler. Hakeem Butler is the kind of player that we need right now for the red zone. I do agree with you, but I understand the confusion too, because this is a dink and dunk offense. I mean, that's the range in which Teddy Bridgewater should be accurate and able to distribute the ball well. But that's not the case. And again, we're talking about Teddy Bridgewater not being the kind of quarterback that you want to see lead the football team. But
Tree 50 is absolutely right. He says our best red zone target was Greg Olsen. And that is, he's absolutely right about that. But the fact is, again, tight end. And that's cool. That's cool, is that he's your best receiver. Bums.
That's why we need a tight end. Like we've been needing a tight end. I mean, even when Greg Olsen was here the last couple of years, we got Ian Thomas thinking that he was the answer. I mean, they said that he's a raw product that he needs to be developed. Well, he hasn't developed. He hasn't.
Yeah,
it's time. The experiment's over.
All right, so this is and this goes back to poor general management strategy, vision, lack of identity. A lot of words we've hit on a lot in this show. We talked about a lack of vision for the future, and vision right now, and also CK said identity earlier. Do you remember we were too slow? Then we tried to go. No, we were too small. Then we get fucking Kelvin Benjamin and like it's just like too little, too late. That's been actually the real story of the Carolina Panthers draft. Even going back to Dave Gettleman, who I thought was going to be brilliant at first. I was fooled. Too little, too late. He recognized that he had fucked up an offensive line, so he goes out too late. It's too late, and you go get Matt Khalil. It's too late. It's not only is it too late, he's a fucking bum. You don't have a good, you want to get big in the red zone because we don't have a red zone threat. So you go and you get Benjamin and Funches. Too little, too late. Then we're slow. Then we don't get all this. Then you go get Christian McCaffrey and Curtis Samuel. Too little. Those guys are little. Too little, too late. Fucking bums, man. We need a balance, bro. We need a balance. We need a Christian McCaffrey and a Mike Davis. We need a fucking DJ Moore, Curtis. We need a Robbie Anderson and a Keenan Allen.
You need basically what you're saying is you need a Michael Thomas and a Smith. You need a Mike Evans and a Chris Godwin.
Yes.
Which I mean they're kind of big bodies.
Complementary football. Complementary football is my point. All right.
Before we go, I just want to read off a really cool stat that I think everyone is going to like. Over the last 20 seasons, no team has blown multiple 15-point fourth quarter leads in a single season. The Falcons just did it in back-to-back weeks.
Gosh, that's a great.
Let me tell you.
The only thing that makes me feel better about losing money on that is that the Falcons fucking suck. You know, if you're a Falcon fan right now, are you ready to commit mass suicide?
No, I need them to win a few. I need them to win. I need the Falcons to win a few.
No, but if you were a Falcons fan right now, imagine where you're at. Imagine where you're at as a fan. You are ready to fucking swallow a bullet, football-wise.
You had the Falcoholic Twitter page. Did you guys see his post? He said, "The Bills just blew a 28-3 lead. We are free," and the Bills won.
And the Bills won, and they lost. I saw that shit. Somebody, was it you, Cody, that posted the video of the bitch scratching the Falcons shit off of her?
Yes,
and I was like, you got to put some water on that. If you don't put some water on that, you're just scratching your glass, girl. Just scratching the glass. She didn't give a fuck. Gosh, they must be ready. Like I'm trying. What was it? The Davy. Do you remember the crazy people that drank all that suicide Kool-Aid? That's That's what Falcon fans are ready to do right now, and it's just a shit show. On top of that, they're going to get Trevor Lawrence. We're not. Their offense puts up like 70 points a week.
You better put down the IPA, Tony Dunn.
It's going to happen, dude. Bro. They ain't going to win shit. You're trying to tell me
they're going to beat us twice. They're going to beat us.
They're not. I mean, we're going to win on the last play of the game against them, and we're going to have like 7, and I'm going to lose the bet. All right. One other question about the practice squad, and we got to leave. Or we don't got to leave. We got to give out the game ball. We're giving out. Oh, it was our dab on them pick of the week.
And
it's our Petey Pablo pick of the week.
But we can still dab on them folk, bro. We ain't we don't have to do like the Panthers do and try and erase Cam Newton from the existence of the football team. We can be better than them.
Okay, all right, I like that then. I wanted to ask you guys about this a little bit about what's going on with the Panthers practice squad.
This is Jim Jones.
Is Jim Jones? That's exactly what I said. Those mugs are ready to commit mass suicide. But Tremaine, like, we need help in the secondary. Why I understand that you have to constantly move players around, right? But based on where some injuries or this and that. But why cut the guy from the practice squad that you just signed in a position group that is weak when you got Dante Jackson, who's got an injury, who re-aggravated it this week? Now he's got a toe injury. And then the other one is that imagine if you're Reggie Bonifon, who got activated from the practice squad for this week, who has already been told he's going back to the practice squad on Monday. What the fuck is going on? Tremaine Johnson, wasn't that the guy's name from the Jets? He got paid a couple years ago. Why is that the fucker that you bring onto the practice squad and then you quit? There's like 11 other people.
Our general manager hasn't a fucking clue what he's doing.
A moron. Even if it's not even if he's not a good fit, even if he's hurt, just keep him on the practice squad for one more week. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
We can't make sense of this shit anymore.
Dude,
oh gosh.
Right now,
fucking Lazard. I hate Lazard. He's a
bro.
Why can't that be Marquez Valdez-Scandrick?
This game is the tale of two quarterbacks right now. Aaron Rodgers is unloading the ball and destroying the secondary of the Saints right now. Just absolutely wrecking the secondary.
This game is competitive, though.
It's competitive, but it's a tale of two different tapes, right? The Green Bay offense is off the field very quickly because they're scoring quickly, and then the Saints are chunking out the time and still getting down there and scoring. It's really weird. This is
Aaron Rodgers. Thank you for reminding everybody that you're fucking amazing. Thank you. I've been trying to tell y'all.
This game is going to make Saints fans wish that Jameis was playing.
And this is all without Devontae Adams. Is that who they're showing on the sideline? This is without Devontae Adams?
Yeah, they don't have Devontae Adams.
This is Lazard literally doing everything, bro.
Why isn't Marquez or whatever, MV, but the other guy that's on my fantasy team doing this? Anyway, I didn't start him anyway. All right.
Let me go first. Just because I don't want nobody to take my pick.
I just like doing it, man. Dab on them folks. Dab on them folks. And that dab on them folks.
All right, this is the point. I'm liking it. I like how you say we don't have to forget. We don't got to forget. What we're interested in this is giving your game ball out. This was in the former days, the dab on them folks pick of the week. We're going to keep calling that until we call it the P. Pablo raise up pick. Till I chip into that. Who you dabbing on? Who you dabbing on? Give your game ball away.
Today I am dabbing on my man Spider Burns, bro. Brian Burns was shot out of a cannon today, getting pressures on the left and the right side. Homeboy's the real deal. We're finally seeing the potential that he has. I'm telling you, man, if our defense can start putting guys in a position on third down where they have to pass the football, expect to see those stat totals continue to climb and climb and climb for my man Brian Burns. He's the truth. I told you about him here on this show when we were doing our Better Know Potential Panthers draft pick. You know your boy's going to put you on. Come on now. But, man, to Spider Burns, shout out to you, man. We're still going to keep proving them wrong. Dab on them folk, man.
All right, who you got, CK?
I mean, I've got to do Joey Sly, bro. Joey Sly has been shit on by our fans, by everybody. Nobody respects him.
You're right.
And he has done, he is one incredible kicker, and he's got a powerful leg. And he came in today and he was proving, and he's been a very high point on my fantasy league. He has definitely won the battle of my kickers, every single week. So he has been an incredible piece, and he's done an incredible job with the Panthers. And you know what's funny? Everybody said he can't hit the short yardage. Hey, guess what? Every single kick he made today was inside the 30 or 40.
It was. Dab on.
Anyway, Joey Sly, dab on him, folks.
All right. I wanted to go Jeremy Chin, but you know what? Who I'm going dab on him with? Trey Boston.
Oh, I like that.
Trey Boston saved this game for us.
He played. He actually had a couple of really good PBUs.
No lies detected.
Keenan Allen's about to cut. You're at the end. You shouldn't be at this point to where this team can win this fucking game against you, right? I mean, think about it. With all the shit that happened, the Panthers should not have been in a point to where they were going to lose this game with one catch. One catch. They weren't going to have to go for it on two. Mm-mm. They weren't going to have to do nothing. Is this one play, and there was space. It was there. Your DB fell down. And the guy who had shredded this fucking team, Keenan Allen, it's like the most, if you could draw it up, if you were an offensive coordinator and you could say, give me one, you threw a prayer up to Jesus. You said, just give me this one opportunity to get Keenan Allen by himself in the end zone with only one guy on him. And Trey Boston goes up and makes an aggressive play. He didn't get a penalty. He went for the ball. He saved the game. My dab on him pick goes to Trey Boston for getting us this win today, because we were about to get that L. We were about to catch an L, and he knocked down a W for us. So dab on you, brother. All right, it's the C3 Panthers postgame show. The number's 252-228-5098. We're here every Tuesday night live, 9 p.m. Professor's Picks on Wednesday. And guess what? I'm not ever picking. I learn each week. If I might not beat Vegas, I learn a fucking lesson. And I learned my lesson. Don't fuck with Atlanta. Don't fuck with Washington. Oh, my God. Fuck those bitches. But anyway, Wednesday night, picking with the professor. Thursday nights, we trying to drop. Actually, I'll do it live on Wednesday. Drop it on Thursday on the podcast. Also previewing the team. We're playing Arizona. Do we get these guys at home, or we got to play these fools on the road?
I believe we are. I can tell you right
home
now
because they're going to have fans in the stands.
But man, we have to preview this game, man, because we have hopefully Dante Jackson's able to play, because we have a hell of a receiving core coming to town with the pissed off Kyler Murray, who had a bad game today.
Bad game today. He lost the game for the Cardinals. He lost
interceptions or more.
And he should have had more. He should have had more. I saw a couple plays. He tried to fit it in a little bit too much. He got away with a couple, too. And he had been playing lights out.
But, now they're going to want some revenge. So we have a tough one, man. Listen, we were able to come away with a good victory today. We got to keep it rolling, because we got 2 bird teams coming up. And then our schedule is a lot of up and down. But we're going to be here to do it with you guys. You can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. There is a brand new mock draft on drafttech.com. We're doing a brand new mock draft every 2 weeks now instead of every other week, or instead of every week. So check that out. You might like my write-up on one Justin Fields. But I also break down the Panthers and where they are. And every Saturday on my YouTube channel here at Cody Lashing, you can find me and my man Jeffrey Redmond doing the Cripple Connection podcast, where we break down everything relevant in the video game industry, what games we're playing. We do game reviews. We do all kinds of cool shit. Check us out. And that's it for your boy. Hey, next Tuesday, we have to play that GIF of Cam Newton that I sent you in
with
the
the
mailbox.
750. The 750.
Bro, we
learned about the tax code. He was like, huh? I learned about the tax code.
You know the best one? It's Josh Klein's was the absolute best one.
What did he say?
Was his caption to that was Justin Herbert when he's told he has to go see the team doctor after he got hurt.
That's funny. All right, CK, how can they find you on the streams?
You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/CodizzleAllen. I stream most nights. I try to keep Sunday night pretty clear, and then Tuesday's kind of up in the air depending upon how the podcast goes. But most nights I'm live at 10 p.m. Eastern. So come shoot a follow and help a brother out.
All right, smash the thumbs up button. Follow the podcast. We're here every Tuesday night live, 9 p.m. Professor's Pick Wednesday. Pick against me, not for me. I need you to know what y'all need to do. Fuck the Falcons, and fuck the Saints right now. Ha, ha, ha. We'll check y'all out Tuesday. Go Panthers, keep pounding, and maybe we should do this.
But it ain't about that. It's about getting what you're getting and doing on back here. Big half of me and Carolina niggas done time together. This one's for you. This one's for who am I?
Petey Pablo. Fuck Kara. Oh, by the way, Neil Diamond's from Brooklyn, ironically.
Damn, bro. We have to be done with that.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, bro.
We're off.
I'm voting for Pablo.
I think we're off the air. I hit end stream.